Okay. I think we're back, and things should be better.
Howdy.
Hello. Welcome back to Misty Mountain Mondays on Misty Mountain Streaming. I'm Rob, the D&D wannabe. These are my players. They're amazing. And I am still apparently new at this. But that's fine. That's fine. How's it going in the chat, everybody? Who is here?
We got Eric Bra in the stream tonight.
Dewey, hello!
What's up? Thanks for joining us.
Hello.
See,
Also
I see
another viewer.
Joelle is here. Steven is here.
Don't mind me just taking a photo to say we're live.
Nice.
Yes, you go right for that. We will get to who these people are if you are not yet familiar with them. Stinks to be you, but we'll fix that here in just a second. Let's quickly recognize people who have joined our little community here in the past few days. I don't believe yet we have recognized B2K Killer, Druppel Man, Talon Wraith, who I think I know who that might be, and probably my new favorite name in the chat, Death by Snoo Snoo 75. I love the Futurama reference. Amazon Women in the Mood, one of the best Futurama episodes of all time.
Just things that exist in general.
Man, I probably used
Big
to go
buff
back.
women gotta be one of my favorite genders.
I used to go back and watch that particular episode because the ones with Zap in it are just so much better than all the others. Hey, Death by Snoo Snoo is in the chat with us. Thank you for joining.
Hey there.
And Eric knows who they are. Welcome, man. Hey, thank you very much for sending me what you sent me. It is probably going to be the very end of the stream tonight, but I am so hyped about it. I showed it to Sophie, who I know you've been emailing with, and we both agreed we got chills. So I'm hoping that we can transfer that particular feeling to these fine people to my right on the screen. Let's meet them again, shall we, now that their actual names are back and no longer me making fun of them. We'll start with Steve. Why not?
Everyone, I am Steve. I am back again playing the character I created, Dame Carlotta Voltaren, who is the Den Mother for Den Voltaren, which some of these members are in, and some of these members are included in whether they want to be or not. I am the other half, along with Rob, of the Bardic Twinspiration podcast. We release episodes about D&D and D&D adjacent topics, general discussions, advice on how to make your games better or how to enjoy the game more as a player. Episodes come out every 2 weeks on Saturdays. Thanks to my association with that podcast, I have ended up here, and I've been having a lot of fun playing with these lovely ladies.
Yeah. And we're coming into like a new arc of the little miniature campaign that we're running here. Just in case anyone is not familiar with Dame, what is the skinny on her?
She is a kind of a no-nonsense paladin. She is the self-proclaimed leader of the group. That is probably less true in practice than in her own mind. She is extremely protective of those that she includes in her den, which is everyone here, and very very proud of her position that she has given herself there. Despite, the den's small size, she takes her responsibility to them extremely seriously. And may even get vindictive towards certain wildlife about that.
And if it wasn't obvious, or if it's your first time tuning in, everyone's playing Drow.
Yep.
And hence
Cowboy Bebop.
Oh my god, how have I not made that an episode title on YouTube yet?
Now we have to.
There's more episodes left.
I will hold that one in reserve on deck here. Let's just continue across the top of the screen to KJ.
Hello. KJ, I'm the one that's eating popcorn. I play a drow druid named Druna Kayjora. And I am also a cosplayer on the side. This is still like, this is, I think, my longest campaign that I've run so far. I'm still relatively new to D&D, but I am really grateful to be part of this group. I'm having lots of fun. So, cheers to that. Great, cheers.
Cheers.
And a little about Druna, please. What should everyone remember about her going into the episode?
So, not much is really known about Druna, except for that she's a orphan in the streets of the Underdark. Her clothes she found in the dumpster, her shoes she found in the dumpster. The only thing that she was left with was a druidic focus, which is a crystal that's tied to the end of her braid coming out of the back of her head. And she's a very shy, not so sure about herself individual.
I really like that particular touch of having the druidic focus tied to your hair. Steven and I have watched a show called Scissor 7. It's a show on Netflix where a girl has a knife tied to the end of a long braid and fights with that. And it's
Nice.
like, that,
Oh yeah, I need
That's-
to finish that.
that's my next monk. Just,
She whips her hair back and forth.
well, it'll probably be a guy and it'll be back hair, but, same principle.
Definitely not taken from Star Wars at all.
All right.
I do.
Let's go to my fellow player on Wednesday night's new campaign, who is taking a bite out of something delicious looking.
Nice.
I
Timing, Rob.
caught
But
KJ while she was taking a bite of something too. I just have a talent for this.
For a moment, I thought you were just biting into a whole, hard-boiled egg.
I thought it was like a cake pop.
I mean,
now
I know it's-
you rub off on people, James.
Dunkin' Duchess, baby. Yes.
Yeah.
I
Some of us hate
Kingdom.
ourselves in more subtle ways, but y'all choose to eat Dunkin' Donuts.
Kingdom come. Hey, Steve. Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
I'll end you.
He's not joking.
Don't think I won't.
But yeah.
No, we're both lady.
After the death threats. Yeah, I'm back. I'm here again after being here for 3 days in a row last week, and let me tell you, Rob said that it was a long week after Elden Ring. I just had a really long weekend of doing nothing and sitting here thinking, like, is it Monday again yet?
Is it Monday yet?
Yeah. But yeah, I'm Tyler, or Cheesecake Panda cosplay. Do a lot of cosplay. I have armor patterns. I occasionally make a YouTube video when I remember. Yep. And I'm playing another drow. I'm playing the wizard Luka, who is just a dumpster fire. Like, that's just the way to describe him. He's a dumpster fire. He dresses really weird. He has a big pointy witch hat that is his focus. And he also typically has a little white rat named Phoebe, but for the last several episodes has been a solid white albino flying monkey.
Like you do.
Yeah.
He's
And I
like a
summoned demon
Joanne
chicken.
Fabric and Crafts kind
Summoned-
of dumpster fire.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, with chicken. With chicken. Yeah, with like fleshy chicken. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you weren't here
Um,
last week, you're not gonna get it.
I don't know if you are allowed yet to talk about cool things going on, but if not this week, then surely soon we will get to talk about cool stuff going on with you, yes?
Yes. Particularly something that I can't say yet, but related to D&D that is centered around March 15th.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all in like a week you'll know. If you follow me on social medias, in a
Ooh.
week you'll know. So
Maybe for next week's episode, it'll be the 14th. It'll be the 15th in some time zone, and maybe we can justify it there.
yeah. If they've approved it by then, maybe.
Maybe. Either way, exciting stuff coming up, and I think it's awesome, and that you are cool for getting to do things. Lots of people talking in the chat. We will cover all of that in just a moment after we hear from Jane.
Oh boy, that's me. Hi, I'm Crash Candy Cosplay. I am a cosplayer, a makeup artist, an illustrator, and a prop maker. it's a lot of stuff. And I can't decide what I want to focus on. But I play Dr. Iris in this campaign, and he is also a drow. He is a very short, old, kind of cranky French man. And I love him dearly. So not too far off from myself. But
I had a really bad image with Dr. Iris like the other week because of all of my D&D. I just kept thinking of really like random funny things, and for some reason I was picturing like everybody running into battle, and here's Iris with like a walker just like like because he's the oldest of me.
I mean, I imagine a distinguished cane.
Yeah, probably. It's like he can walk faster, but
no, I
not going to.
I just refuse.
No, absolutely not.
I set the pace for the rest of you on this moving sidewalk, and we will only go as fast as I permit. Gosh, I think we've talked about this before, but your somewhat arbitrary decision to make your drow man French makes me very happy because of Chris Perkins's portrayal of a certain drow NPC in the Acquisitions Incorporated games. And I know that was not intentional on your part, but the continuity makes me so happy.
I just couldn't decide. I wanted to do an accent that I don't hear a lot in D&D. And I was thinking, like, what could be really fun? And I was stuck between either, like, really strong German, think like the Doctor in Hellboy, or just the snootiest French. And, like, I just started talking in his voice around the house, and I was like, I'm cracking myself up. I gotta do this.
All right. That is all of them. If you don't know who I am and are somehow following this channel anyway, I'm the face that is usually taking up part of the screen. I work for Misty Mountain Gaming. I dabble in YouTube, in podcasts, in Twitch streaming, in article writing, sometimes in adventure writing. I'm the guy that they keep around who knows stuff about D&D. That is basically my function and sole purpose in life. Let's see. Stuff going on in the chat. Eric Bra in our chat is, rightly so, plugging Happy Hour on Wednesdays. If you're looking for something to fill some time before Tyler and I jump on and start playing some D&D, the broadcast Happy Hour is a fun time. I've tuned into that one once or twice, and it's just good people talking about good stuff and enjoying the variety beverage of the week, which it's always bullet bourbon or wild turkey for me, but hey, you know, some people like to mix it up. Mythical Mania is in the chat. Hey, James, glad to see you here, pal. And I would love to get a link to Eric's Twitch channel, if we could, if someone is capable of handling that for me. I'm a follower on it, but of course, anytime I touch anything that's not OBS, OBS breaks. So I will try not to do that. I think now is probably as good a time as any to announce the fact that Eric is going to be in the spot below me next week. We will be adding another character to this cast for the duration of the rest of the adventure. If you don't know yet who Eric is, he is a professional voice actor. He has done work for all kinds of video games, including League of Legends, which I think is still reigning for the past decade as the most popular, most played game on the internet. And he hasn't worked for them one time. He's worked for them 3 times as Vel'Koz, Jax, and Steve, the last one.
Well, it's not Draven.
No, you keep correcting me on that.
Yeah, it's because you keep saying Draven. It's not Draven. It's Draven. And I can feel him. I can feel him judging me for that horrible thing that I just did.
It's better you than me. Better you than me, and you do a better job of it than me.
Well, it's because I've been playing that champion ever since it came out. But, I mean, you know what? We're in Season 12 of League now, and Rob and I have been playing that since pre-Season 1.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know.
I haven't been good at it ever, but I've played it.
No.
Not once. But that is... Oh, I'm so excited to have him join stuff. I've been in secret Discord talks with him for months about coming in and joining us. I'm so glad we're almost there. I just had to get you guys from stinking Shallowford up to this castle that you're about to be forced to go in. And I'm so excited.
We were just taking our time.
It was fun. I'm very glad you did, and I enjoyed every second of it. But all the while I was like, not this week, Eric. Soon, I promise. We got to take 2 weeks off, Eric. The real life stuff is happening.
We had to fight an old man in a tavern. Like, it's fine.
Yeah,
and that's hard.
We wasted a whole week on that.
Side note, I don't know what I've done, but I'm already in the spirit of Luka because I'm just randomly bleeding.
What?
So...
Yeah.
Go get a Band-Aid or a paper towel or something. Some hot wax or hot glue.
It's fine.
Rub some
This
dirt on
episode
it.
is brought to you by your very own blood type.
Oh,
Misty
no.
Mountain Streaming, forever
You're
fueled by the
negative
blood of
too?
the innocent.
We have super blood. Yes.
It's
You
another
guys are
thing that we have in
negative?
common.
Negative.
Blood for the
That's
blood lord. Oh,
super
if only you
weird.
knew. If only you knew.
I know.
Hey, Sprinkle.
We're kind of goated.
Steve's making spoilerific references in the chat.
I didn't
fucking-
actually think about that at the time, but now that you've said something, I remember.
Okay,
Do you remember?
before Steve keeps singing, why don't we play some D&D?
I guess.
Oh, and by the way, I haven't asked this time, but I'm assuming since no one has commented on it that everyone is audible and visible, and you will let me know if that changes. But last we left off, our party of 4 drow adventurers, having been sent to the town of Shallowford, have discovered that the cause of the peculiar malady that is accosting the town is an abundance of stray pixie dust in the town's water supply. Following the brook to its source, you fought and defeated a dryad, a fey creature beset by a peculiar magic item, an artifact of hell that was affixed to her head and changed her demeanor. She was working in service of some unknown entity farther up in the mountains, collecting pixie dust for an unknown reason. Freeing the werebear druidess, who was captured by Olmaria, Ethelyn sent you in her stead up into the Rimefang Mountains, the Frostfang Mountains, to discover the nefarious source of this trouble, promising to follow you as soon as she was feeling fit once again. Up into the mountains, you began a perilous passage along a deep crevasse in the middle of a snowstorm. Though accidentally falling off of a cliff, Luka managed to cast a newly acquired high-level fly spell and take himself down the crevasse to do a little scouting, reporting back as needed, but as the time of the spell drew to its end, landing down alone in the bottom of this ravine where several starving wolves approached. Thinking quickly, if thinking is the appropriate word, Luka reacted by summoning several abyssal chickens, whose cry I did and you were all spared from by Discord's clipping settings. Still one of my favorite clips from the series so far. The wolves, attracted by perhaps an easier meal than Luka, some of them snapped up these abyssal chickens and dragged them off into the snow. Some were slain, and as the rest of your party caught up to the scene, you managed to fell almost all of the wolves. And though a peculiar and certainly magical lightning storm is threatening and harrying you every step of the way, you managed to protect yourself under a Leomund's Tiny Hut spell cast by our wonderful doctor, which has afforded you, even in this inclement weather and in this dangerous place, a long rest. Ahead of you there is a castle, a ruin, smote against the mountainside and crumbling, but that has a still standing, if slightly askew, tower with a bright orange light about halfway up and a pillar of green light piercing the heavens from its top. And that's pretty much where we left off. So, all of you, if you haven't already, on D&D Beyond, may click the long rest button, get all of your resources and hit points back. And as you know, in mere moments, the Leomund's Tiny Hut spell is going to fade and once again expose you to the bitter cold outside and the still raging lightning storm above. What would you all like to do?
Doc is still probably pouting a bit, but trying to keep the spell up for as long as possible.
Walks like that kitten, just like, don't talk to me, I'm angry.
Don't talk to me, I'm angry.
Yeah.
The little one that's just like turned around.
Yeah.
Safe to say that like everybody's kind of miffed at each other.
The kids have been like asleep on the other side of the hut.
For
Guys,
context,
Mom and Dad are sleeping in different Leomund's tiny huts. I'm worried.
in case I did not cover this in the recap, just for expediency's sake, but the saving Luka situation, Doc and Dame had different and opposed opinions on how best to handle that situation and rescue their boy. And there wasn't really a time to discuss, and the fact that they differed on that has kind of heightened the tensions between the two.
If memory serves, I wasn't actually able to even keep it to actually hit the wolf when I tried to attack it.
No, the wolf got away in the darkness.
Oh, yeah, big time.
Spell.
Well, I don't want to monopolize things at the start. So Dame will, and once she has had her 4-hour-long rest, she will exit the hut and go keep watch at the mouth and just kind of keep an eye on the lightning storm from the safety, from the cover that's provided us by this little outcropping.
Okay. As you've been watching, the bolts have seemed to lessen since you guys have taken cover, which kind of adds to your suspicion that something is behind this. When there are no targets in the environment, no shots are fired from the dark clouds above.
This just reminds me of Elden Ring, honestly.
Yeah, you see like the sheet lightning, right? Like the clouds are still live with some kind of a magical charge, but they're not wasting them down here in the crevasse where there is nothing, where you are hidden, I should say.
Okay. I'll just keep waiting out to make sure that everyone else gets a rest, and once it's over, I'll plan to rally everyone together and try to make a sneaky little egress over to that tower. About how far away is it?
It's a few hundred feet through the snow. It's a football field away.
Okay. That's not too bad. We're closer than I thought.
Mm-hmm. It has been difficult to see while the blizzard above was raging, and while there were magical darkness spells, and while there was combat going on, but it's fairly visible now to you. In fact, why don't you make a perception check just to see if there's any details you might have missed the first time. And thank you, my buddy Mythical Mania, for that gifted subscription. Clipmaster
20.
Dan just got a gifted subscription from my boy James.
Nice. James also gave you a Dungeon Master's Accomplice again.
Let me mark that down.
Once again, my dice's commitment to helping me in all times but combat holds true. I got a 20.
A 20. So you once again take in all of the details that you had before. You have spent a little time above ground, and you have amused yourself many an evening by poring over just bits of history and specifically military history and studying the defenses of these upper kingdoms. Your impression is that the ruin ahead of you is quite old. Even as a seasoned adventurer, you've seen the odd ruin and something that has become decrepit and overgrown and whatnot, but this style of architecture has come and gone quite a long time ago. And even in its decrepit state, it is further destroyed by the fact that you think, based on kind of the geography around it, that this castle was not built here. Some remarkable landslide has brought this down into the crevasse from somewhere higher on the mountain, and the structure is all the worse for it. Furthermore, as you are looking about and thinking to yourself in the back of your mind, always problem solving, what is our way out of this crevasse? Yes, Luka can fly, but how are the rest of us getting out, and will it be easy? There is a rope bridge whipping about in the wind from that tower up to the top of the crevasse that you are all in. You must imagine, based on everything else that you know about it, this must have been added much later, probably by someone that occupied the tower since its descent into this kind of terrible place. But it is your first and best option of how to leave this crevasse and return to the realms with which you are better acquainted.
Okay, so to exit, we must ascend. Okay.
Or, turn into a spider like Druna does, or fly like Luka does. But you,
and Doc can do it too, actually, with their class ability. So it's just going to be me. The rope bridge is just for me.
Doc can fly?
Yeah, Twilight Cleric, man.
I can't fly yet.
Isn't that
I can't fly.
Don't you get to fly in dim light?
No. That's like the that's a magic item. Like the bat cloak.
I don't.
Continue.
Whatever it is, I think if it is something that Twilight Clerics get, which I don't know because screw those guys, I hated them before they got above 5th level. It's a meme. I don't actually hate them. It's not something that Doc can do. Doc has flown. 6th level. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
But not quite.
Doc has flown before, but on the power of pixie dust.
Fly?
Hey, there's Eric's.
Who needs a walker?
You can fly.
I can just fly.
Let me pause for a second before the action really kicks in. For you guys, see, Mythical Mania, gave we got guidance for Doc and Luka from Grimforge, so you guys mark that down. You guys, I didn't say this at the top of the stream.
you.
If you guys have channel points racking up, you can use that to affect the game. Specifically, either like Grimforge to assist the players, or if you want to save up, like Mythical Mania, you can assist me to the detriment of the 4 beautiful people that you see on screen besides me.
Darken mood and lighten mood.
They gave us to Dana.
Oh
and Druna,
shoot!
too.
If you see the darken and light, if you see the darken and lighten mood, that's for Wednesday's game. That's for the carnival game. You can spend it now, but
I
it
was
won't
about
do
to
anything.
Be like,
I forgot to
darken
turn that
mood,
off.
not knowing what it did.
I bet you I had that on all through Elden Ring, confusing people too.
We're just gonna make Luka sad. That's what it
Dang.
does.
You just start improving,
Luka
being
has to
like
get
really
sadder and sadder
upset.
the more
can-
people use that.
Hey, I can do it. It's just that's not what it's for. That was Rob's request, other Rob.
It's not gonna be
500
Luka
channel
getting
points,
sadder.
and I'll change accents. Intermittent.
It's not gonna be Luka getting sad. It's gonna be Luka making everyone else sadder with his stupid idea.
Dang. This isn't my problem.
I will also
I'm everyone's
reference every week when we do this campaign in particular, because I only am in charge of the games that I run. We do have a clip contest. So if you want to clip a moment from the game, I will watch them all. And then my favorite, and a decision somewhat influenced by the rest of the cast here, will be published on social media. and we will award you the title of Clip Master for the previous week. So far, that dude Daniel has had a perfect run, only sharing his win once with Simply Yuki. So if you want to dethrone the Kang, clip some funny stuff. And yes, we do highly prefer enjoyable comedic moments to the serious stuff where Doc and Dame start fighting. Anything that's gonna get us more hits on social media, so go for the haha. Yes, all of that cleared, and guidance for Doc and Luka. Now, you have seen those things, and as thunder rumbles overhead, the tiny hut fades, and once again, you are all plunged immediately into the biting cold of this frigid mountaintop environment.
We definitely spent the whole night, like, knowing, like, kind of like those animal senses, kind of like, oh, something's wrong. So, like, was gonna do this to Dame. Dame left, so instead went, fine, Doc is my target. So Phoebe spent the whole night, like combing through your hair with her little monkey fingers and all that stuff.
Don't worry, all that did was make him more stressed out.
Doesn't know she's a baby.
Bullet dodged.
I'm imagining Doc with, like, Albert Einstein hair now.
Yeah. He's just sitting in trance, like when your pet's annoying you when you're asleep, and you're like, I'm not awake enough to do anything about it, but I am awake enough to be bothered by what's happening.
Actually, we all got hit by lightning. We're probably all Albert Einstein right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We shock
We
each
all
other
got
if we
white hair.
touch each other.
Yeah.
I'll fix it while I'm out there outside the hut, giving Doc his bubble space.
Luka has not fixed it. He just put the hat back on and was like, I'm good. So we're outside. We don't have the hut anymore. What is it, like morning now, or what time of day is it now?
It is very hard to tell
Okay.
because it is incredibly overcast. You cannot see the sun, and you are down in a pit. I will tell you, it is dark and cold.
Do we want a little bit of light to go around? I could make a little bit, or do we want to sneak more?
Look up at the sky. You ever have the feeling that you're being watched?
He like glances at Phoebe. Yeah, I get that feeling. I know what you mean.
Yeah. It's probably best if we make it there as covertly as we can.
I'm reading a spell.
Right. Well, something is amiss with that tower. Who's ready to go check it out?
So, Druna kind of steps outside, because that's where Dame is, right?
Yeah, I'm just chilling at the mouth of the cave so I can look at the tower, basically. You know, just leaned up against the side.
So Druna steps outside, shuffles on over to Dame, sticks her fingers together, and she's like, so, are you and Dad gonna make up?
The good doctor and I have had our disagreements in the past. Everything will be fine, darling. He doesn't always agree with my methods, and sometimes I admittedly may take things a little too far. I'll look over at Doc while I say this, but keep talking to where, maybe he can't hear me.
Am I around to hear
Getting her
this?
stuff together, huh?
You are all
Probably
still
not, right?
you're still hiding under that ledge, because if you've left the ledge,
is
I'm
it a
going to
small
want to.
ledge? Okay.
Mhm.
It's not big. It's not, the thing from Lion King.
Well, then in that case,
You can have a little bit of privacy, but you can't really
Pride
get
Rock?
far. Yes. Thank
Okay.
you, Pride Rock.
Dang it.
You can get a little privacy and talk quietly, but you can't really escape one another either.
Okay, then he'll hear Dad and just start choking.
I admit
I heard
that my
that, like-
priority should be your safety, but sometimes I take your well-being very personally.
Right. Well, I heard that the first step to solving an addiction is admitting that you have a problem. So,
All right. Well, I would hope that you wouldn't consider me addicted to violence. But all things considered, I do see your point, and I will try to remain more in control in the future.
okay, I just really care about the two of you.
And pats your hair, tries to fix some of the lightning damage to your hair. It's like,
It's not lightning damage, that's just how it is.
Nice.
we care
do
about the doctor and I care about you as well.
I really like Luka too. Luka's my favorite.
Like, he is certainly the most fun.
You guys do hear like a tiny like, oh, come from, and you look down and Phoebe's there just like looking up with those big red eyes.
I'll reach down and I'll pick up Phoebe. Like, are you doing that thing where you're listening through the animal again?
You
He's like, no! I'll put the monkey on Druna's shoulder and say, we're all going to look after each other. Like, even if we have our disagreements, I doubt that will change.
She just kind of kicks the dirt and doesn't really say anything. So
At this point, Luka kind of pipes up and goes, I know you guys are not quite with my weird little ideas now after yesterday, but I mean, the chickens were good. Okay, we have to admit the chickens were good. Anyway, if we're trying to sneak to get over there, how does everybody feel? I think I could like maybe do 2 spells to maybe draw some attention away from us. I could maybe make like a servant that'll go off to do what we want and put the lights on the servant so that they see it and not us, maybe.
That
I was
would
gonna ask,
certainly
if I
a creative solution.
if I turn into a forest creature, would I still be targeted? Would they know?
That's a good question. I don't know if they can tell us specifically or just looking for anything walking around. But to be fair, we are the only things really walking around here, other than the wolves and some chickens that are no longer living.
I think that's a good idea. Let me light some torches, and you can have your thing, whatever it is, carry them off in another direction, and we'll hug the wall of the precipice, so to speak, and see how far we can get before something untoward occurs.
As you guys are having this conversation, you are momentarily deafened by an eruption of thunder striking the ledge above you.
Ooh.
Chunks of rock, not quite where you are, rain down around you, and dust begins to trickle, and plenty of snow falls from above. As you hear a rumbling and a shift above your heads, as the massive rock begins to relocate itself somewhat.
Or maybe it doesn't matter, we should just go as fast as we can.
I'm gonna do it anyway. I will, instead of ritually doing it now, just use a spell slot to make an unseen servant and just order it to like stay 30 feet ahead of us.
Okay.
I'll light some torches and just like
It just like takes off. I don't think.
it's unsettling.
But can I?
They're invisibly like an invisible force removes them from
Yeah.
Dame's hands
Yeah.
and stands about, torches just levitating about shoulder height in front of Dame.
Yeah.
I turn into a woodland creature, though, would that be a perception check, or would they be able to know that it was me immediately?
You don't know.
Okay.
Could just turn into a horse and like
You don't even know what they are to make a good guess at that.
Like a
The
weasel
storm is-
to try to like a snow weasel to try to like scout the way, lead you guys there directly.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is possible. You'd certainly be warmer.
Well, now
That
I'm
sounds good.
scared.
I was thinking that, or just like turn into a horse and just charge Doc, as far over there as you could.
I could do that.
You meant run over it. I was like, yeah, we're really working things out, obviously.
I'll feel better once he's run over.
We've already established that Dame apparently works out frustration with heels and whips, so is what it is.
Mommy, mommy?
Not intentionally. That's just what I had on hand in 2 different episodes.
Hello? But aren't you proficient?
All right.
Hello.
So,
Yeah.
before I decide where another bolt of lightning goes, what is everyone doing?
Is this where the backstory comes
Are we
from?
just-
Is this part of the backstory?
Are we just gonna take a run for it, considering we know
Yeah.
where we're going?
Apparently, it's spelled Dame, but pronounced Dom Carlotta Voltaire.
Brothel name.
For no reason in particular, Steve the player is thinking, wait until another lightning strike occurs and then run for it.
Well,
Just on the off chance there's a recharge time. And by run for it, I mean like try to conceal yourself and go.
like
Well, you know they say lightning
Tyler
never.
is a,
Sorry.
I guess Tyler is a player because we worded it that way. My worry is that if we stand here and it shoots again because it knows where we are clearly, that the rock's gonna fall on top of us when
Yeah,
it hits.
that's a concern. That's doing me a concern.
I figured just
Maybe
run.
Try to like run to the spots that it did strike, because maybe I don't know if this would be different, but lightning never strikes the same place twice.
That's it. We got to be perfectly safe here. This is where the campaign ends.
We
So,
never
yeah,
leave here.
So,
Aim for where it's hit before. Yeah.
Rob the player wants to know, are all of your characters discussing your options here in real time, or is someone doing something? Because Lucas said Luca's reaction was maybe to just run. And if that's happening, I need to know that. And if it's Luca saying to all of you, my vote is that we just run, I also need to know that.
Yeah, and actually, because literally my flaw that I picked is, let me find it. It is, nothing gets between me and danger except for my fellow adventurers, so I'll put them there. So keeping that in mind, Lucas says, I think we should run for it with his servant 30 feet away and just takes off.
There you go.
So-
Lead by example.
I could wild shape into a horse and put Doc
You guys
and
are gonna catch
Aim
up to him
on the
now.
back
He's
of
out
me.
of shape.
You could do that.
and we could haul ass while Luca flies ass.
Well, Luca is currently running. You are all still, as far as I know, you are all still under the ledge, and Luca is running through the snow with an unseen servant holding 2 torches charging ahead of him. So,
Phoebe.
Dame, what are you
No,
doing?
Yeah, Phoebe came back to me.
I push Doc forward.
That's
I'll
it.
say-
Put Dad in
I'll say-
danger.
I'll reach back, grab Doc, and push him forward. And as I do so, I'll say, "Don't get too close. If it hits one of us, it doesn't have to hit all of us. I'll be right behind you, and if anything happens, I'll pick you back up."
So passive aggressive.
As you wish.
Here, you first
Kind
into the
of
lightning.
Smooth down his cone and start going.
All right.
We don't talk about our issues. We just keep caring in passive aggressive ways. That's the patented Voltaren strategy.
So thoughtful, says Junior Verse. All right. So, this is going to come down to chance somewhat. I'm assuming Dame and Druna are following along. Druna, are you following as something other than yourself?
I'm gonna wild shape into a snow weasel.
There you go.
I want to wild shape.
Oh.
I mean, I could Because I feel like if I wild shape into a horse, I'm gonna be leaving Luka behind if I'm hauling ass.
You might still leave him behind. He's a wimpy little wizard. It's fine.
I still picture you running like Double D from Ed, Ed and Eddie.
Yeah, holding Phoebe in the front.
All right. Well, it will come as no surprise to anyone that before all of you reach the... thank you, Grimforge. I will note that down. Before all of you reach the ruin ahead of you, lightning will strike. The question is, who? Dame made a very good call to make sure that you are all spaced out, so that, as far as you know, based on what has happened before, only one of you may get struck, which is a wonderful thought. There's what could be presumed to be an invisible creature carrying 2 torches, who knows who, ahead, and there is a weasel who is much more difficult to see just by nature of the coat against the snow. So I'm going to roll a d20. The weasel is going to carry a disproportionately small number of options, and the unseen servant is going to carry a disproportionately large number of options, but we'll see who gets struck.
Hey.
And unbelievably...
Oh god.
Oh god. Oh no.
I barely missed the weasel.
Oh no.
So it's going to be the unseen servant, and it doesn't technically matter whether or not an unseen servant with, 1 hit point
Yeah.
is going to make it save or not.
It worked.
You are all running when you throw your hands up as snow and blinding light erupt in front of you as a technically immaterial and invisible being is obliterated and shards of torch go in every direction.
See, it felt like we didn't have a plan, but the unseen servant got more points because you shifted into a weasel. It missed you, and because we were separated, only the unseen servant got hit. What
It's
a
good.
plan! What
It's
a
good.
plan!
And during like all
No
this
idea.
explosion, you can just hear.
Okay, this makes the first of you to approach the ruin, Luka, as Luka ran first.
Of course, it's me always.
So, Luka, as you're coming up on this place, it looks like this large structure is somewhat buried by the snow and the earth, and from its descent from the mountaintop. You think technically you're like eye level with at least whatever could have been the top floor of this fortress, either the second floor, third floor. How far this extends below ground level, you're not certain. But this area clearly survived better than whatever was below it, because you are starting to find in the snow and kind of stumble over large bits of rubble and battlement and columns that have been cast aside by the impact of its centuries-old arrival at the bottom of this crevasse. And so, because it is the top floor, there's no doors, there's no anything. No one would enter at the top floor of a castle. But to your right, on the eastern side of this crumbling derelict, there is a hole punched in the wall, which offers some shelter from the cold and perhaps a way inside.
How big is the hole?
I mean, it's about half of a room. There's half of the hole is like a hole in the ceiling and the walls and the floor, but
Okay.
it is sizable.
Yeah, he's gonna get there and immediately just grab Phoebe up and just jump straight in through the biggest hole he can find.
Okay. And the rest of you are quickly behind, and will shortly see what I'm about to describe to Luka. Luka, as you come in, you notice... Oop. Hey, Lawless Fox, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the party. Enjoy some D&D and some cool people telling a weird story. The room that you are in, its stone floor is almost entirely covered in a thick layer of snow that has drifted in, much as you have. There's rubble coating the floor from the broken wall and the partially collapsed ceiling. Along the western wall is a sturdy, closed wooden door. Somewhat buried by the snow is a simple rush doormat in front of this door. And visible on the mat are the words, "You are welcome." Other than the snow, the doormat is spotless.
Okay.
And moments behind you, everyone else comes in to the same scene.
I'm gonna start, because I got there first. I'm gonna start, like, looking around at the door. Just, like, I'm not proficient in looking for traps, but just, kind of looking at everything, seeing if there's any red flags. Looking closer at it.
Sure. Would you prefer to perceive or investigate in this instance?
Luka, might I offer some assistance?
Sure, if you want to.
I would like to cast Find Traps.
Smart, but he's still like looking around.
Okay.
They're here somewhere.
Find Traps is not a spell that features heavily in games Rob has run before. If you would tell me a little about that, and still go ahead and roll for me, please, Luka.
I was gonna say.
I
probably
sense. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't think one is better than the other. Or actually, no, my perception's... Oh, no, my investigation's really good, and my perception's also okay. But I was going to say, given I'm actively looking for something, that feels like investigation, so...
I would not disagree.
It is... I sense the presence of any trap within range that is within my line of sight. It includes anything that would inflict a sudden or unexpected effect you consider harmful or undesirable.
Okay. Is that
You
a...
see Dame.
Wait.
Oh, damn.
Dame is a trap?
You consider
This is a
harmful
revelation.
and undesirable.
Whoa. Things I didn't know. What level spell is it?
It is second.
Ooh, burning second level slots just on the door. Well, the good
Just in
news...
case.
The good news is you didn't waste it. The doormat itself is trapped. It doesn't tell you... I don't suppose the spell tells you how, but you...
I learned the general nature of the danger posed by the trap.
Okay. You have seen Druna cast a spike growth spell, and it is virtually undetectable unless you know that the spell was cast. This rush doormat, if you were to step on it, would very much hurt.
All right, very charming. Don't step on the doormat.
How did that...
That's a cheap trick.
How did that investigation go?
I got a 10 total. Or wait, no, I got a 10 total, but like I rolled a 3, which means 7 of that came from just the character sheet. So
You...
I love this boy.
You don't have to use it, of course, but I think you do have guidance.
I know, but I want to save it for something good because Grimforge gives it to us every game, and I want to use it for something good.
That is fair. Unfortunately, then, I cannot tell you the thing that a 12 would have gotten you.
So close to victory.
Doc, however, you do take your boot or some such, and you kick a little snow off of the danger trap, and realize that the bit of snow was covering 2 important letters on the doormat. It should read, "You are unwelcome."
No, so that's just tacky. Either way, don't step on it. Just step over it.
I
Pitiful.
lean over and try to jiggle the handle and see if it's open or not.
You can.
Okay.
There's no handle per se. There's like a ring for you to push and pull with, but you give it a try, and this is old. Like, this might predate handle technology. But you push and pull, and you believe you could open it. It does not seem to be barred or locked in any way.
Just to be safe. Dame, can you open this for me? You have the armor on.
Oh no! Guys, we're in a dungeon. Stuff wants to hurt us now.
Suddenly, the caution out of nowhere.
Push the paladin forward!
That's it. Doc's response is just to shove.
Yeah.
Today, playing the part of the rogue
Listen,
will be the
I'm
paladin.
the cleric! If I
We
go
don't
down,
have-
everyone's down.
Thank you, Robin.
True, though.
I say that like it's still not gonna happen.
Dame will nod and walk past, Druna and Doc, and as she goes past Doc, she'll say, "Well, glad to see you haven't lost your touch. I was beginning to think, you've, this life suits you."
Luka's gonna like lean
That's not,
over to Druna.
that's not surprise in my voice. I'm just saying it's like the good old days.
Luka's gonna like lean over to Druna and be like,
Very
"Like
vaguely
someone else."
understand, but thank you.
But-
I see.
No, so, and I go and I start and I open the doors. I assume it's not heavy and I just push it right open. But if it's something different, you can tell me.
No, it's sturdy. It's heavier than doors that you have grown accustomed to that are a little more worried about conserving trees and whatnot. This was clearly built to last, and it has, but it's not. It's just slightly more inconvenient than opening a regular door.
Gotcha. I'm just saying, it's been a long time since either you or I have been afield, and it's good to stretch those old muscles again, and good to see that you haven't missed any steps.
Well, I went out in the field with the hopes that I could just return and live a simple life doing what I love indoors.
I remember when Doc
And yet
was a
does
young,
that
hot adventurer. Just a fine piece of cleric ass.
So does Dame, apparently.
He was taller then.
Didn't have a ring.
Was? Hold on. Was?
I thought, weren't you one of the ones saying that we should go the distance on this whole thing? Anyway, I don't suppose we could go back to
Perhaps.
Exton with half a solution.
As the door is
Am I-
open,
Yep. Should I just? Anyone? Okay.
before you
will sort of
continue,
gives
now
a-
that the door is open, allow me to describe what you're now aware of. Upon opening the door, Dame and others, you are greeted with a wave of warm air and the soft glow of firelight. The small room is sparsely furnished with a cabinet, a wooden trunk, a small table, a single stool, and a cot. The room is tidy, and the cot is fastidiously made. A pleasant aroma wafts from a simmering cauldron hanging above a crackling fireplace.
Ooh.
On the wall beside the door hangs a simple wooden coat rack. The chilling wind caused by the opening of the door causes the 4 cloaks hanging from it to sway gently. A small pair of boots are wet and sitting drying by the fire.
So Druna kind of walks up to the cauldron and smells it.
It smells pretty pleasant. It's some kind of a root vegetable stew with some sort of meat in it. It's almost, by the smell of it, it's almost ready for eating. It's just kind of on that slow cook, simmering, like pot roast, like I could eat at any moment stage.
So then she'll go ahead and take like a little flask that she has from her side and just look around and just get that little flask and put
Just
it back.
Get that big wooden ladle and just... Excellent, yeah.
Phoebe and,
Smells good.
Yeah, you look over to see Phoebe in the corner staring at you, just like she's the only one who watched you do this.
Dame
I'll
is
look at
counting
Phoebe
the
and-
cloaks on the coat rack, thinking, "All right, we've got 4 people inside, and then muttering to herself.
One of them, by the way, since you take a moment to notice them, 3 are bone dry, and one of them is soaking wet.
Okay. You know, for guests being unwelcome, the door being unlocked is a strange move. I look over at the fire. You said the fire is still going, keeping everything on simmer. And normally I don't leave my food in the lobby unattended.
Quite delicious. You should try some.
Oh no.
Have you taken a sip?
Drew.
Maybe. Uh-oh.
Good to know.
No, I don't think I will.
Don't worry about it.
That doesn't seem like a... Just don't
DM,
eat anymore, all right?
there any other, like, doors in this room, or is it just, like, a house?
How could I have forgotten to mention? This is clearly like a tiny house, like a multifunction single room where someone does everything.
Okay.
There is a door. And let me double check here. There's a door on the western wall at the back of the room, beyond the little table and stool. I'm sorry. It's the northern wall, but just the one. Of much the same construction as the one behind you.
Can I...
No.
Okay.
Then I will. I'll go
Anyway.
to the door and check it out.
I'm sorry, Jane. What were you saying?
Thanks. I would like to go up to it, and if I put my hand on, like, the door knocker, is it really cold, or does it feel like a little bit warm?
Oh no, how many knockers has Doc felt?
He's old. You don't
This is one of the...
No one said.
This is one
Does
of the...
this mean nothing to you?
It doesn't. So you reach for it and try and perceive it. It feels kind of toastier than outside or whatnot. You don't think like there's a raging fire on the other side, but one of the things that unfortunately Luka missed knowing about the door from the outside is that the room that you are currently in is much warmer than the room that you were in outside. This feels roughly the same.
If I just kind of nudge it a little bit and take a peek through, do I see anything?
You have to wait a moment for the dark vision to kick in, but yes, it is.
Oh!
It is completely lightless in the room beyond, and it seems to be by stark comparison to this room, a cluttered. I shall rephrase. A very empty library with a very cluttered collection of tables in the center. It's difficult to distinguish like any individual item from just the massive mess on top of the tables in the next room.
Okay.
But you see bookshelves completely devoid of books. And from the angle with which you would be looking and the angle that the door opens, that would be all you can see without, like, opening and entering the room.
Gotcha. Yeah, then I'll look over my shoulder, say, "So something in here."
Before
like
we
to take
leave
a look?
this room, Luca's gonna have been walking around. Eventually, he'll pick Phoebe up from her corner, and she'll be like holding like a baby around him. But he's gonna kind of just like he doesn't have a stick, doesn't have anything like that. But he's literally just gonna be walking around going, like flinging his arms in every which direction to see if he hits an invisible person.
Doing like a raver in the dark, kind of.
Yeah.
it not occurring to you that you taking this tactic would require the invisible thing to stand perfectly still to succeed. And something invisible could easily just avoid you going around the room. But you do this and connect with nothing invisible. While you're going around, though, and since you are interested in the contents of this room, if you would make another investigation check... Oh, no. Yeah, another investigation check, please.
Me or
Luka.
or Jane? Oh gosh. Okay. Cool.
Go, wizard boy.
Ooh, okay. That is 16.
A 16. So, as you are doing this somewhat inane thing, as Luka is oft wont to do, you do become aware that there is a loose brick amongst all the other bricks that make up the walls of this room. The mortar has been chipped away, and you think it could easily be moved. And it looks like it was intentionally... this act was intentionally done to the wall by someone with a small chipping tool.
I am going to use. I'm going to back up like 5-10 feet if the room is big enough for that.
Yeah, it's not
I would
cramped
hope
by any means, but it's...
I would hope it's not a college dorm. Let's put it that way.
It is not a college dorm. It is as sparsely decorated as my old college dorm room, but...
Okay. I'm going to quickly just shout out, not thinking about the fact that we should probably be quiet, and be like, everybody, I found something. I don't know if it's going to blow up. And then he's going to use Mage Hand to just pluck the brick out of the wall.
with no further delay. All right, you do so, and immediately the brick comes free. Behind it is a small hidden compartment that seems to... You could probably reach a hand in and then down, which you could do with the Mage Hand again if you so wished. But there are things inside, and you can see some of them poking out, but not enough to really tell what they are in their entirety.
Yeah, so I guess if it's a single brick, a normal size hand, is it going to really fit all the way in?
Well,
there, or...
again, old construction, a brick.
Oh, so it's a big one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then yeah, he's
This is
gonna
a fortress. This isn't, the brick wall around my dad's house or anything,
He's gonna leave the Mage Hand up just purely so that it will play with Phoebe, so that she doesn't think about putting her own little fingers in there.
Wise.
And then he's gonna shove his own arm down there and just start feeling around.
Okay. You pull a few contents from this thing. First of all, you find 2 unusually large potion vials. Like, they're pretty much hip flask content size little things. They are both clearly labeled, oddly enough. No guessing as to what they are. They are marked as Gruta's medicine.
Gruta.
Mm-hmm. There's also a rather large scrap of paper, like maybe a single page from an oversized book, shoved in. Because you are a curious adventurer, I assume you open it up and take a look at what is on it. And it picks up in the middle of a sentence, as though this is just one page from something else. And it is signed at the bottom of the page. The first thing you notice, kind of like John Hancock on the Declaration of Independence, an enormous and elaborate signature that is so elaborate it's almost difficult to read, but the name is Corvin Dane. Corvindane. And it accounts a tale of an entity known as Lord Ravan passing judgment over some sort of a civic dispute between 2 women who are identified mainly as party of the first part and party of the second part, as to ownership of a particular amulet. And the phrase ends with, the paragraph ends with, "Ever doth my lord uphold the law in his own estimation, rightly dividing it for those he serves."
Ever doth my lord hold?
Uphold the law in his own estimation, rightly dividing it, something.
For those he serves, yes.
Yeah, look at what I... It is filled with a piece of paper in this 1 minute.
Oh, see, I've got...
Lord.
Yeah.
You got all the post-its.
The last sentence is quite
I'm trying
separate.
my best to keep up.
The last sentence is quite separated from those that come before it, as if it is its own thought, its own paragraph, its own thing worth noting.
Okay. He's gonna try to shove the potion bottles, I guess, in some of his pouches, so they probably don't quite fit. And fold up the paper and, stick it away. He's left the horn that he still is holding in its complete own pouch, just, on its own, doing its thing. He's not going to give anybody pocket chocolate out of that pocket, okay? Because it's cursed chocolate now. But he's going to go over, because Doc is looking at things, he's going to go over to Dame and or the potions. Just be like, these were in the wall. There was also a giant piece of paper, and I'm very confused because those boots over there look really, really small, yet these are really, really big. So either we're dealing with, a little person with, really big hands, or, a really big person with just teeny tiny feet.
Mm-hmm.
So,
As ever, thinking Luka is the smartest one of the group, she's like, okay, yes, that makes sense. Perfect.
I will clarify, by the way, just before I get in trouble later. When I say the boots are small, I mean, not for a small creature, but, for daintier feet.
okay.
Dame will take those two and take a look at them. Well, at least we know we're in the right place. Gruda on it.
Doc will turn back around at that point, seeing no one responded to him, and he'll just be like,
Yeah.
"What did you find?"
I'll hand Doc one of the two bottles, and then I'll say, Luka, never trust anything that you find in walls. And then I pop the top and see what it's all about.
Yeah, I want to investigate it too. If it says medicine, I want to see what all that's about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He's also
Not
gonna,
in my clinic.
He's also going to pull out the letter now and just start looking. Yeah, this thing says something about a Lord Devon, and it's got Corvin Dane written on it, which sounds awfully close to Dame, so they may be coming for your branch. But anyway, I don't know. It's
it is lovable of Luka to get something ever so slightly wrong, but for the sake of continuity, the name is Rovan. Rovahn. Because it will be important next week.
So,
They're
Druna,
right there.
real quick, walks over to those shoes and the smaller ones and sees if she can fit them.
They are squishy, but they are roughly your size. The fact that they are wet and more pliable, that they actually kind of fit in. They're kind of more moldable right now. Are they nicer than what you've been wearing? Only because of what you've been wearing. They're not nice, but they're nicer than what you've had.
Is he nicer than trash can boots?
Yes, they are a step up.
Okay, I'm taking them.
Okay. We tried a little of the thing, and we were interested in investigating it. I would call this Arcana or Medicine. I would be happy with either from Doc. But I will go ahead and tell, because you're not making a check or anything, you're just giving it a Dame. I'll tell you, as soon as you unstop this thing, a smell hits you. It is not an entirely unpleasant smell, but it is strong. And it smell... Have you ever smelled something that smelled a little foul, but you kind of liked it? like in a sort of
Yeah.
sickly sweet sort of way. Kind of that smell, but just very pungent, just assailing your nose. As you tap a little to your tongue, unless you tell me that you take that back after that whiff.
I mean, that's supposed to be a way to check what potions do. I don't know. I think it is.
You are correct. You determine,
or I can medicine check it or whatever. But
pretty much
that's how I do it. Yeah.
It pretty much numbs your fingertip and your tongue immediately where you put it there, but it doesn't stop the flavor of like. Oh, how to describe this? If you mix the flavor of like the viscosity of like molasses with a flavor of chocolate meat, that is kind of what you are getting.
Okay.
So absolutely horrendous then.
It's not pleasant, but at the same time, you feel it's a bracing thing. You feel invigorated by it, and you think that if you were wounded, you would probably feel better if you upturned this flask. It is literally rejuvenating.
So I got a 15 on the medicine check, if that reveals anything on top of that.
Your estimation, and this is only because Doc like delves into a little bit of weird science when it comes to medicine, like unconventional methods and things.
Very homeopathy.
Puncture guy.
This has clearly been tailored in some way. It is not the core ingredient. There's something that's been done to it, but you think the key ingredient to this is probably troll blood. Trolls have an incredible ability to regenerate and mutate and change and adapt. And unless, exposed to fire, which is the famous way to kill a troll, then they can heal from absolutely anything. And this concoction is probably meant to either prevent harm or to undo harm, or perhaps undo negative effects of things that you might encounter in life or over time. You think that the maximum potential of whatever this is probably untapped and probably for good ethical reason.
Bleeding edge of science.
But I know for sure that it's troll blood, at least for the most part.
Mm-hmm. It has, like, papers have crossed your desk in the past of someone positing that due to shortage of healing potions and the different ingredients required to get it, and the complexity of being faithful enough to actually cast Cure Wounds as a cleric, it's not something that just every, neighborhood vicar can cast, that trolls could be farmed and occasionally drained, and they would survive it, and you could fund a new adventuring enterprise on the back of troll blood. And then other papers have crossed that said, no, this has the potential to cause terrible mutations or alterations in the people who are subjected to these things, and blah, 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 blah. Not really up your alley, not something you dug too deeply into, but you recognize it when you are presented with it.
Well, good job, Luka. It's troll blood.
It appears to me now. I could have probably just identified that before you ate
immediately recommend that, Dame.
Sorry.
No, this is actually quite valuable in terms of modernizing medicine, but it doesn't make any sense that there would be such a surplus here, and in such a large size. I mean, only a small bit can get you right back up on your feet.
What's sticking with me quite a lot is that both the big and the sheet of paper is also big. So yes, like you could have just a big drawing paper if you're a normal sized person, but really like the fact that both of them are big, like, do you think there's a giant somewhere down here?
I'm choosing not to entertain that thought, but
I'm going
it's
to entertain
very
that
high
thought.
probability.
Luka, you
We
are
can do that together.
you're entertaining this idea, and you look back towards the door, and it occurs to you for the first time that there are those 4 coats hanging by the door. One of them is wet, 2 of them are dry, and the 4th one is dry and probably twice as large as the other 3.
He points at the cloak and is like, You see? Do the cloak? Okay, I'm gonna do some snooping. Do the cloaks have pockets? Can I like dig my little fingers into all the pockets and take things?
I'm going to say no, but very nice thought. They're not very practical in that sense.
I'm gonna take my Gruta's medicine.
They're women's coats, probably.
Oh yeah, are they unisex?
If only
No
I could,
pockets.
if only I could award inspiration and the chat not have to do it for me.
I studied the coats. Do I notice, if they are unisex?
Difficult to tell from just the coats, I would say.
Fair enough.
Perhaps if you found the rest of the ensemble.
Or the occupants, the people who wear them. I'm going to take my Gruta's potion and hand it to Druna, so that she will have one, because I don't think we have a lot of healing potions or things. I don't think we have any. So I will. Why don't you hang on to this, darling? And then,
Doc will be kind of like, Druna, please, be very careful with that. It is not candy. You don't want to drink large amounts of it. Please.
Or you
Can't hear
could.
you.
I think
Or you could, though.
The Druna is staring at Doc with like the top halfway open, is like,
Please, Druna, Look, you can probably have the soup and it's fine, but this is blood, and it has possibly some mutagenic properties that probably wouldn't suit your young body.
Your carnivorous, shape-shifting body. Definitely wouldn't want any mutagenic blood.
Druna looks at Dame and is like, Dad said if I mutate, it's your fault.
Going back and forth, like, Dad said I couldn't do this, so I'm gonna go ask Mom.
You guys turn around after having this conversation about blood, and you guys turn around to look at.
That's why I'm the fun one. And then I say, why don't we go check out this next room while they look at coats?
I was gonna say, yeah, you guys turn around and like Luka's taken one of the cloaks and is like completely covered himself, and Phoebe's like sitting on his head, so it's just her little tiny white head looking out from this cloak, and he's just like, "What's up, guys?" Like,
I'm Rat Man.
You kids in a
no,
movie
it's a monkey.
theater.
Never mind. It's a monkey. Yeah, I would like to go.
Reminding myself that the lightning can't strike inside.
With or without Druna, I'm gonna go.
Listen, we're
take a
not
look in the
fighting
next
anymore.
room.
This is rare.
I'm sorry, Dame.
The only thing that I know about this place is that people we don't like live here.
we don't know if we don't like them yet. We haven't met them.
Same.
Well,
That
whoever
has
it is
point.
here keeps Gruta's medicine. Gruta being the one who hands off demon horns to corrupt dryads, and then requests that Pixie's wings get ripped off and dumped into the river without any regard for the towns that might be downstream.
Yeah, but
I think that they're the problem in this situation.
but that's one person, and there's like 3 other cloaks right over there, and the other people might be nice. They might just be being forced to do things. Think about that, Mom. Think about that.
Dame, if it
Don't
would
look at me,
ever
how do I
concern
respond?
you to temper your bloodlust for just a moment, perhaps we are in the presence of neutral parties. I am ready to kill someone if they don't, I don't know, give us what we need, but please?
Very well.
This tiny
I mean,
little man looking
I look
up
over
at
at
me.
Druna.
literally bargaining.
I look over at Druna like, very well. I did say I would make an effort.
Yeah,
Let's-
that's what you said.
Although you do realize that we've already taken these neutral parties' boots and medicine and pocketed all of it.
Don't forget the soup.
And the soup.
It's okay. I'm
And
good at
we are,
talking
in
my way
addition
out of
to which,
What
we
do you
are
mean,
trespassing.
boots?
As the welcome mat, the enchantedly dangerous welcome mat clearly said that we are not welcome here.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Honestly,
Think
if I
about it,
had
like-
the effort, I would put the same thing outside my clinic.
while they're having this whole conversation, Luca still
Maybe
in the
they're
cloak
just not
with the
social.
CD sticking out, like leans over to Druna and is like, "Did you hear that? Dad said violence is okay if they don't give us what we want."
Mama
Sure
said that
like-
it was
I'm gonna
okay.
mess so much stuff up.
Mama said that it was quite alright.
Also, who in here stole shoes?
Points at Druna's feet.
No
I
one.
don't know
Let's
who
get
did
going.
that.
I just say, no one. Let's get going.
I'm going to look at books.
Druna,
Go back over to the door.
Druna smiled, so Baconator awards you inspiration. As
Oh, nice.
Aw.
well as gifting
Yeah.
a couple of tier 1 subs to new friends.
Oh.
Hey!
Thank you very much, buddy. Thank you. I've given up at this point. I just want to recognize and reward that behavior whenever it shows up. I'm not going to focus on the game. We're on Twitch. I gotta recognize the generosity of people.
Yeah,
even
we're
if it
not
breaks,
critical role.
even
we're
if it
just
breaks the
mess
immersion.
with other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we got over Critical Role.
yeah.
We thank you. No matter what we're doing, we thank you.
My brother
Ah,
thanks
Lord.
you.
My father thanks you, my mother thanks you, my sister thanks you, and I thank you. James Cagney.
Nice.
There we go.
Doodle dandy.
Right. So, Doc is heading into the next room.
Everyone's headed into the next.
Everyone's headed into the next room. Okay.
You just only care about Dot going in, apparently.
I don't care about who goes in first.
He's still walking.
by the
with
way-
back of the group, but he's still walking with Phoebe sticking out of the cloak.
Uh,
Peeking through it as he's looking.
no reason. Druna, could you give me a Constitution saving throw?
Oh god.
No.
Oh boy.
It's because of the shoes.
It's the
Not-
shoe.
Not anything you ate. It's the shoes. There's like athlete's foot in there.
Oh, it's so
Aw, man. Or like there's a tack in there.
Did it go on the floor? It's gone. It's gone forever.
I got a 14.
A 14.
Hey.
Good to know. Thank you.
Wait.
Probably plus some things, right?
Good to know. What do you mean?
Okay. As you all open the door into the next room, I've got a little bit to tell you about it, so hold tight. This room was clearly once a great library, but those days are long past. The immense shelves that line every wall are adorned only with dust, empty of the books that once filled them. There are several tables jumbled in the center of the room without any sense of order, and they are festooned with trinkets that range from bizarre to the grotesque. Bones of animals, sticky ichors, fungi, indistinguishable meats, and tiny effigies crafted from the same. In amongst them are mortars and pestles and small earthen vessels. 3 stools stand proudly amidst the tables, and other than the dusty shelves and the messy tabletops, the room itself is bare and tidy. There is a heavy stone door situated on the eastern wall. Carved into its surface is a depiction of a barbaric figure wielding a spear. The engraving is marred by a large, clawed handprint in the center of the door's surface. On the western wall, a thick wooden door stands slightly ajar, and a dim orange light is barely visible through the crack, and tuneless humming can be heard beyond. Anybody has any questions over anything I just said, feel free to ask.
Hmm.
Whoa, and thank you so much again, Baconator! What a champ! 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that 5 gifted subs?
5, yep.
Whoa, dude! Springle Lich King,
Thank you.
who I know was in the chat earlier and maybe still is. You can thank Baconator for the new subscription and the emotes, as well as 4 other people that will have a surprise for them the next time they watch the show.
I just gotta say, Sprinkle the Lich King is like my favorite name that has popped up.
It is a good, like, Death by Snoo Snoo may have toppled.
Sprinkle the Lich King with what?
I believe it's a nom de plume, but that is the thing. Thank you so much. Wow. But nonetheless, to recap, dusty empty shelves, tables with weird stuff in the middle, door on the left with a large claw mark, and by that I do not mean like scars on the door, like a mark of a claw.
Oh.
And then a jar door on the opposite wall, and you see a faint orange light, and you hear like the worst humming that you have ever heard, like completely tone deaf.
Oh.
I feel so at home.
Luka's gonna pull Dame aside only. Luka's gonna pull Dame aside only because Dame's probably closer because Doc went in first. And he's gonna whisper, "Should I go invisible and go check that door over there that's cracked, or we can send Phoebe? She won't be invisible."
You know, as far as I can tell, you have a perfect track record on all of your plans, so whatever you think is best. I whisper, of course.
Yes, I know the chickens were just great last time, like the other day, and really they smell quite good when they cooked. They're big, but they smell nice anyway. And he he pulls out the little like gum and like nasty eyelash and all that stuff, and I cast invisibility. There goes a 2nd level slot.
Ooh, okay.
He's gonna pass Phoebe off to Dame just to hold her.
You immediately vanish.
You hear like from like the darkness, and like you can't see anything, but just hear like "I'm going over now," and then he just gonna creep over. Yeah. Actually, let me see if something is concentration real fast. Okay, message is not concentration, so I will send a quick message to Doc and Dame, or to Doc and Druna, just to tell them.
So you know,
going there.
I think invisibility ends when you cast a spell of any kind. Doesn't matter if you hurt them, and you would know that.
Yeah, so never mind.
But you're invisible. You can literally walk somewhere and then walk back and talk to people, and it probably won't matter.
Yeah, well, it's fine. I'll just trust that Dame will let them know. And start hobbling over.
All right. I will get to what Luka does and sees in just a second. As the rest of you enter this room, and are basically standing in the doorway of the chamber before, do you go anywhere? Do you look at anything? Do you do anything? Do you wait for a report from Luka? What is the plan?
Are there any clothes in the room?
Any clothes?
Any more clothes in the room?
Not that are immediately visible. There's such a hodgepodge of things on the tables. You can't be certain what is or isn't in amongst them without going to check. But there's not like a rack of clothes in this room.
Okay. I'm good.
Dame, what are you doing? Waiting? Doc?
I'm going to start making my way towards the door at about the speed of Drax the Invisible.
Okay. There are 2 doors. Are you making your way towards the one with the light and humming, or the claw?
The light and humming, because I assume that I will be needed there possibly at some point. And I mean, I'm moving like, about 1 step every 12 seconds.
At that speed, and there's nothing in your way, again, other than the tabletops, this room is quite tidy. You have no difficulty going over there. I won't ask for a stealth check or anything, moving at that speed. How about Doc?
He is probably going to go up to that table and get a closer look and see if there's anything either unsettling or useful.
That is great. You make an investigation check, and we will come back to that as soon as I'm done with Luka.
Can do.
Luka, you approach the door quite invisibly, as a matter of fact, and you look beyond into the following chamber. Looking into there, you see a very open space with large pillars supporting a vaulted ceiling. Before you is a large, empty, dry fountain. Its basin is dry, but stained a dark red. Across the room stands an open archway leading into a dark corridor, and there are large sets of wooden double doors on the northern and southern walls of this room. Moving about the room in a listless pattern is an ancient woman, hunched over a straw broom. She is sweeping dust from the floor into a pan, and then emptying the pan into the fountain. The little orange light is issuing from a small candle that she is occasionally picking up and moving slightly around the lip of the fountain to illuminate a new, dusty patch of floor. And she is humming an inscrutable tune to herself as she does so.
When you said that the fountain is stained red, do you mean like it looks like they colored it red, or like someone died on that thing?
Like, whatever used to be in this fountain was red.
Okay. Oh, okay. Ew.
It is only in the basins.
Okay.
And it is tiered, right? It's like enormous stone chocolate fountain kind of thing. But yeah, you get the idea.
Reminds me of my hometown. We had this really elaborate fountain in front of a bank, and people would frequently just put like dye and soap and stuff in it.
Oh, I thought
just
you
so
meant
that
like dye.
No. Like they would just color the water, and it was just such a frequent thing. It wasn't even considered vandalism anymore. It's just like you could drive by the fountain and it could be foaming, or it would be like red or purple, and it was just like, fountain.
Whoever does or used to live here might share your sensibilities.
Yeah.
Luka, what do you do upon noticing this?
I guess the other question I had is, how cracked is the door? Like, is it like a couple inches? Is it more open? Like
you and your slender frame, if you like tucked in the sides of your hat's brim, you could slip through. Dame probably could not in all that armor.
He's going to quickly scoot back over Dame because she's the only one who he told that she was going. So unless she told everyone else, they don't know. And it'd be like, I'm gonna go in the room. There's no woman in there. And before you can say anything, you can assume he's gone again.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look at the other two, and as I, slowly creep and just go, as if they weren't already, because they can hear the humming too. But keep creeping.
Grimford, stop reading my DM notes.
I was just reading that. We just hear like a long, far off distance. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Everyone's on the same page in the chat. I love it.
How did that fill that with yes real quick? I'd love to see that.
How did that investigation go, Dot?
I also cast guidance on myself because I forgot I could just do that as a cleric. So I ended up getting a 16.
16. That is high enough to learn a new thing.
A new thing.
So.
Yeah, Claire.
Let me check out my notes here.
Thanks, God.
And you still have your I won't care if your chat awarded guidance and your personal guidance stack. I think that is fair.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't use my awarded guidance. I saved that little guy.
You still have it, but if you are faced with a challenge where you would like your own guidance and the chat guidance, I'm just saying for the record, they can cooperate.
Ew.
All right, so as you're investigating, again, it's filled with like kind of slabs of rotting meat and peculiar fungi, some of which, even with your prodigious knowledge on such things, you are unfamiliar to you. There are earthenware vessels that are filled with things, ones that are stained with other things, and you can tell clearly that this is something of a... Whatever this room used to be, it is now something of a laboratory and a space where people are, and judging by the stools, presumably up to 3 people, are experimenting and discovering and combining different elements, bizarre and somewhat disturbing. As you are going about the table looking for anything particularly useful or intact or that might suit your purposes, you find a sheet of crumpled and stained paper, upon which is this jagged writing, some of which is obscured by this little effigy. And the effigy seems to be made from little bits of bone and mystery meat and twigs, and it has these pieces of wire coming out of what must be the head that are quite white, almost whiskery. As you pick it up, you start to notice a few little details, like the fact that it is dressed in this white frock with a little bit of a high collar. It has a little piece of metal wrapped around one finger, like a small ring. And the hair is of a familiar length coming down past the shoulders.
Hey, wait. Hold on.
And with the way that the meat has rotted a little bit, it's kind of turned this grayish purple color.
Oh, God. Is it like a jerky? Or is it like icky?
It's spoiled, but it's not old. Like, it's not tough.
Aw, ew.
And as you kind of pick it up to move it, for an instant you think, and immediately the thought passes, the resemblance to yourself is uncanny, and you even see your own face for a moment as though reflected in a tarnished mirror on the face of this meat puppet. But it only lasts a moment.
Hate that!
And then it returns to being this grotesque little doll.
Can I tell what the writing on that paper said? Or
as
like
you
what language it is?
Momentarily touch it and move it aside, it is written in Sylvan. Do you read Sylvan?
What do I read?
I might read it, but I'll check for you.
Don't think I
think this has come up in the party before. Someone was able to speak to the pixies.
It's just me.
Yeah, I know Gnomish, but I know Elvish and Gnomish in common.
Sylvan, for anyone unfamiliar, and I hope you all are, is pretty much the plainer language of the Feywild and Fey creatures. So only particularly cool people who are interested in that sort of thing around here would know it. So it is undistinguishable gibberish to you. It is clear enough, you think, to read if someone understood the writing. But your association with Dame has been such that you recognize it as Sylvan, and it has kind of Elvish, the language that all of you speak, has its roots in Sylvan, and you recognize it when you see it.
And is that the only one that I found?
That is the most noteworthy and legible and perhaps useful thing you have seen on the tables.
Okay. I'm gonna, try to not vomit because I'm nervous, and I'm gonna wrap that back up in the paper and just kind of put it away for now.
Okay, you're taking the doll with you?
Yeah, against my better judgment.
All right.
That creepypasta of like a Funko Pop that looks like you and the person won't sell it to you.
What, Luka, you slip through the door into the next room. everything is as I have described it to you. What do you wish to do?
Okay, well, first, the whole time you were describing that, it just kept going through my head of it puts lotion on its skin as you kept describing the head, which made it worse.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's gonna quietly like creep around to the other side of the room, kind of avoiding the lady to see if there's anything in different angles that he couldn't see and all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Just make a stealth
Then-
check for me, please.
Then you said that there
You
was
can
like
make it
another...
at advantage, and you can use guidance if you need to.
Because there's another door, right?
There are 4 doors, one in each wall. One is a doorway. There are no doors, I should say. It's an archway leading into a darkened corridor beyond. And then there are doors, 2 other sets of large doors going north and south.
Down to my stealth. I have nothing to my stealth, which I didn't roll very bad, but I always forget to add my guidances, so I'm gonna add the one that Grimforge got me.
There you go. Speaking of people in the chat, hey Mac, what's going on?
Ooh, that was good.
What'd you get?
Ew.
Well, I rolled a 4 on my D4, so that's nice. So that
Just
brought
on your
it
D20.
No, that brought it to, it was a 14, so that brought it to an 18.
18. All right.
Yeah.
The woman seems to pay you no mind as you pass around the room. Are you heading to one of the closed doors or to the darkened corridor, or all 3, I suppose, in turn?
Yeah, I wanna quickly because Irish Mac is here. When we move away from my sneaking, I'll get one of the rats out for you. Anyway, yeah, I want to first go to the 2 doors that are closed and just kind of like listen to see if I can hear anything on the other side before I go to the open one.
Okay, pick north or south for me.
You know what? We'll say north is below 10, south is above 10. That was exactly 10. Why you do this to me, universe? Let's just say the south.
Okay.
Nice.
These are heavy doors, and they are quite closed, so it is difficult to hear anything beyond, but you think you hear the sound of stone scraping on stone.
Oh. Let me write that down. South. Stone. Sounds okay.
Oh, I know what that is.
Oh, it worries me. Okay, then I'll sneak to the other door and listen.
Okay, so to the north side?
Yeah.
Okay, no perception check required. Over the sound of the humming inside the room, you hear nothing beyond that door.
Hey. I can't let the party know what I'm doing. So I'm just gonna continue on my way to that dark corridor.
Okay. Through this doorway, once your, dark vision adjusts from turning your back to the candle, because I imagine it works kind of the same way as just like, normal vision of seeing a bright light and then looking at a dark space. This is a big room. The room is larger than your dark vision permits you to see. However, something that is immediately apparent to you is that several sections of the floor here are missing.
There's holes, or there's just like...
There are holes going down to something below, and a dull green light emanates down there. It's not bright enough that you could see it from other rooms or from this floor, but when you are near to one of the holes and looking down, the space beneath has some source of green light down there. It is weak, it is pale, it is sallow, but it is there. As you are checking this stuff out, I've kind of heard what people are doing in general, except for Druna in a minute. Other than the lack of clothes, you see Doc go up to the tables in front of you, get a little uncomfortable, look like he's about to vom, and then shove some meat sickle wrapped in paper into his pocket. Dame is moving at a snail's pace towards a door. The other door on the far side of the room. What do you choose to do? What are you up to as all of this is going on?
I was thinking about wild shaping.
Yeah.
And going into the room and trying to like eavesdrop on the old lady.
That's a thing. That's a very possible thing if you wish to do it.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that.
Okay, what do you want to become? What do you think would be innocuous here?
I think like a little lizard is what I'm gonna go with.
A little lizard? Oh, that's
Aw.
cute.
Yeah.
Little baby.
Cool.
Like
Okay.
a little gecko.
Speaking of babies.
Oh, it is a wat.
Oh.
I refrained from commenting on Kay's cat nuzzling her earlier in the stream, but I do love the pets. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Hello, all the pets. Which one is this one again?
This is Vex.
Vex.
This is my little extra gremlin because she steals everything.
For her.
By that,
Irish-
I mean she pulled a pimple patch off my face last week,
Oh.
and then I had to take it away
Vex.
from her. So
Irish cares not for any efforts I make on this channel when faced with the presence of rats.
that'll be
They're
my stream
cute.
takeover. That'll be my stream takeover on a Friday. Is just me sitting in front of the rat's cage, being like, "And here's this one."
That will be our
Please.
most watched stream.
Oh my god, we could do a pet show and tell.
Good.
I have my fake jellyfish aquarium over here, but they look pretty real.
I was like, you're gonna go have to find a pet.
Oops.
All right.
We'll figure it out.
This is the neighborhood cat.
Dame, as you are walking forward,
Does this count?
a
Yeah. That's it.
a tiny lizard
He's
races
alive, don't
past
worry.
you into the room beyond. Druna and now that you are in this space, and Luka, now that you are moving around this space, I want you both to make Constitution saving throws. The DC is only 5, but it will be so fascinating if either of you fail. So go ahead and roll con saves for me. You can roll as yourself, not as a lizard, Druna.
I got a 15.
Cool.
I was the other
Great.
one who needs to roll, right?
Yes.
Oh, that's cocked.
Let the
Just
rat
saying because It
roll.
was on a 20. Here, Vex, you want to bless it? Get your little butt. Stop showing the viewers your butt. Bless it.
It's my best asset, Mom.
There we go. Heck yeah, she rolled a 13 plus something.
Cool.
Plus absolutely nothing. I lied. It's a 13.
Even better.
Druna, as you in gecko form crawl up towards this fountain, you hear the old lady. How does that next part go? I don't remember. Just entertaining herself with noise. Make a, since you are interested in her and what she's doing, she's not saying anything particularly delectable at the moment, but just make a perception check for me, please.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my inspiration because I got a natty 1.
Ooh, yeah, go for that.
Oh.
Alright. Then let's see here. 19.
19. Without a shadow of a doubt. Is this woman, and it's a straw broom, right? And she's sweeping up dust and whatnot, and it's kind of kicking up into the air. It's not like a vacuum or anything that efficiently, like, takes dust away. It's kind of pushing it all up into the air and somewhat into a pile. Some of what she is sweeping up, not all, but definitely some, is pixie dust that you have recently become very familiar with what it looks like.
Okay.
You also get your inspiration back, thanks to Jane.
I have so many channel points I need to use at some point. I've got 8.
Same.
I've
I was
got-
looking down at them and it popped up as soon as like she said she used it, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got 8.5k.
Nice. Want to be
Nice.
a DM's accomplice 4 times?
No.
no! Don't make my tiny little fairy boy on Wednesday cry. The dark and moon.
All right.
You know what?
So, Druna, as you were looking at this, it is pixie dust. It is that stolen, heisted commodity that is being cleaned off of this floor and dumped into this well. Or this fountain's basin, I should say.
What are you doing?
Do you do anything with this info?
So
Do you just keep it to yourself? Oh, she just ran it right back.
Oh my god.
The drama.
Guys, this is my first dungeon. I want it to be dark and moody, okay? I already made a meat dock. Come on.
I want it to be more fun because I was the meat dog.
Back.
Oh my god.
You know what? This is an odd spot to leave it on, so that we can recenter as we come back. Why don't we run a quick break? 10, 11 minutes, and come back because we need to have our break at some point. We've learned some new information. Let's find out. We've grabbed some new stuff. Let's find out what we do with that in just a minute. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Sounds good,
And,
Chief.
so we can find out where the mood is supposed to be after
Find out.
this weirdness.
Am I
That's
the
not even
drama?
supposed to
Longing back
be in
and
this
forth.
game!
Am I the drama?
No, surely not.
All right. We're tuning out. We'll be back in a second, y'all. Hi, and welcome back to Misty Mountain Gaming. I'm the D&D wannabe. My name is Rob. Dungeons & Dragons has a lot of numbers in it. Those numbers are added to certain rolls, and those rolls determine the successes and failures that our imaginary characters might experience. In the case of the players, all of those numbers are contained here on the character sheet. Figuring out what numbers go where and whether they are the right numbers was initially a challenge for me years ago when I started playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. But when I locked in on a single concept, the character sheet opened up to me. It all made sense, and I became confident that I was adding the right modifiers to the right rolls. That concept is the Proficiency Bonus. Your Proficiency Bonus applies to many aspects of your character sheet and increases your modifiers for some very important roles. Understanding what your Proficiency Bonus is, what it represents, and what it means for your character is one of the basic building blocks of understanding the game. So, let's talk about it. Are you ready? Let's begin. A proficiency bonus in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition represents a character's comfortability and familiarity with certain actions, equipment, or defenses. If a character is proficient in something, that means that they have spent a great deal of time in situations that would lead them to be adept in that realm, where others might not be. A character can be proficient with skills, weapons, armor, saving throws, tools, equipment or vehicles, languages, or magic. Now, some of these things, like armor and languages, never require you to roll dice. If you don't roll dice, then you don't add anything to those rolls, so you wouldn't add any modifiers or bonuses. Proficiency, but no proficiency bonus. Easy. But in other cases, as with attack rolls, saving throws, and skill checks, you may be called upon to roll a d20 to determine how good you are, in that moment, in exercising that proficiency. When you do so, you get to add a special bonus signifying your proficiency to that roll, making you more likely to succeed. That bonus for your proficiency is called your Proficiency Bonus, and is located right here on your character sheet. On the character sheet, you'll notice several empty little circles next to your skill checks and your saving throws that you can color in to remind yourself that whenever you roll that type of save or skill, you get to include your proficiency bonus. Your character's chosen starting class will determine almost all of their proficiencies. For example, each class is proficient in 2 of the 6 types of saving throws. Also, at level 1, your character gets to choose from a predetermined list of skills unique to that class, which ones their particular character will be skilled in. Your background usually provides you with a few skill, tool, or language proficiencies as well, and you may get 1 or 2 from your selected race. After that point, it's not guaranteed that your character is going to gain any new proficiencies, outside of choosing certain subclasses, taking certain feats, or acquiring specific magic items. So be sure that the proficiencies that you begin the game with are ones you're happy with. They may be the only ones you ever get. At first level, your character's proficiency bonus is +2. That means that whenever you are rolling something that you are proficient in, you get to add 2 to the result, plus the relevant ability score modifier. Now, 2 may not sound like that big of a number, and I get that, but when you're playing a game where successes and failures are determined by rolling a d20, this increases your odds of success by 10%, which is nothing to sneeze at. When you are trying to pass a difficulty class, you are much more likely to succeed when you get to include your proficiency bonus. As the adventure continues and your character levels up, your proficiency bonus will continue to increase too. Notably, it increases at the same rate regardless of class, multi-class, race, or any other considerations. It is based purely upon your character's total level. At level 5, your proficiency bonus goes from a 2 to a 3. And then, every 4 levels, it will continue to increase by 1. It will max out at a +6 when your character reaches 17th level. Because these bonuses are so significant, you are much more likely to succeed in the realms in which you are proficient than people who lack your experience. Because of this, your character is likely to be sought out by other members of the party or the community because they know, both in character and out of character, that you are much more likely to succeed in these types of endeavors. Now, please understand, D&D is the kind of game where you can attempt basically anything, whether or not you're proficient in it. With all of the variables that one might encounter over the course of an adventure and in the heat of the moment, you may find that your character has what it takes to perform under pressure, whether or not it's something that they're usually good at. And the opposite is also true. Even though you are proficient in a particular area, you may find that you occasionally fail. Proficiency doesn't guarantee you success. Rather, it means that you are more likely to succeed than others when you try, because you are accustomed to the attempt. Aside from these rolls, your proficiency bonus is also used to calculate the difficulty class that other creatures have to beat when they try to resist effects that you subject them to. The most common example of this is the spellcaster's spell save DC. But the fighter's combat maneuver DC and other game effects do also include your proficiency bonus. In all these cases, you add 8 plus your proficiency bonus and your relevant ability score modifier. As your proficiency bonus goes up, so does the difficulty class other creatures need to resist you. This is to exemplify that more experienced, and therefore higher level, characters have developed a mastery over their spells and techniques that make them more difficult to defeat. Also, certain game effects will affect your proficiency bonus, such as the Bard or Rogue's Expertise class feature, which allows them to double their proficiency bonus to particular skill or tool checks. This is pretty huge because as high as a proficiency bonus can get, you could be adding a plus 12 to a check instead of a plus 6, and that almost always guarantees your success. Also, a Bard's Jack of all trades class feature allows them to add half of their proficiency bonus to every ability check that doesn't already include their full proficiency bonus, meaning that Bards are good at everything. Love those guys. That's it, guys. That's the proficiency bonus video. Other than your ability scores and their modifiers, the proficiency bonus is probably the most important number on your character sheet, and understanding it well is pretty central to understanding the game. Once you know how and where it should be added on this sheet, you can create characters correctly pretty quickly, without using any tools like D&D Beyond that would do it for you. Maybe that's a future video. Creating a character, start to finish, correctly, and showing how simply it can be done. If you'd like to see or hear me talking about D&D more, check out our Twitch channel and our podcast. Links to both in the description of this video. And hey, while you're down there, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and ring that bell so that you know exactly when our next video goes up. And maybe leave a like if you enjoyed the video. And if you didn't, go down to the comments and tell me why, so that I can make better videos in the future. Until next time, friends and adventurers, farewell, and Godspeed. I knocked over my dice.
Yeah, that's it, Vexy.
Welcome back, everybody. How's it going? Jane is making some tea, and will be back with us in a moment, but we're going to continue. Yes, Vexy! For anyone unfamiliar, by the by, the thing that played over the break was one of our YouTube videos. I didn't change it from last week because I've been playing so much Elden Ring. But if you are entertained by middle-aged, bearded white dudes talking about D&D, then the YouTube channel is being regularly spammed in our chat by Nightbot from our link tree. In fact, I think I can go ahead and do that. Twitch is our most successful platform right now, but we do podcasts and YouTube videos and articles, and you can check us out trying to fill as much of your week as possible with good old Dungeons and Dragons. There she is. All right. So, at the moment, an invisible Luka is wandering around a room occupied by an ancient woman, like decidedly quite old. Druna's in the same room as a gecko. Has learned an interesting new thing, that what is being swept up from the floor is pixie dust. And Dame is peering in on this situation from the other side of a large wooden door, and Doc has a piece of parchment with Sylvan writing on it, and a meat puppet in his pocket.
God, I hate that. I hate those two words together.
I didn't make you put it in your pocket. You only have yourself to blame.
I wrapped it in the parchment.
Yeah.
Not gonna let it touch
like
me.
a butcher would do.
Yeah. Duh.
So.
Hey, he's a surgeon. He
like
knows
a
what he's doing.
surgeon.
Like a surgeon.
So, who wants to do what next?
I'm not allowed to resort to violence, so I guess I'll just keep watching.
Girl, listen, you do whatever you want to do. You don't listen to those naysaying men in your life who say you have to control your emotions and not draw weapons on innocent old ladies.
Girl boss, go kill an innocent.
I wanted to sneak back into I think I actually was still in the room with all the holes, and I just kind of wanted to peek over a hole and like look inside.
Look down.
Yeah.
All right. What
I
you
immediately die. No.
I'd just like you to make a stealth check.
Stealth. Okay. Can we bless this again? Yeah. Thank you. Wow.
Yeah,
Such
so
a
much
good
blessing.
Oh. Just
See
see
how well
hands going like.
she did. Oh, not bad, honey bun. Let me. Oh wait, I don't have anything to stealth, so that is a 16.
A 16. All right.
Woo!
You approach one of the holes, and you realize, with just the slightest shifting under your feet, that this is probably not the most stable floor. And the fact that you are currently tiptoeing around and being very light on your feet and not weighing that much is probably the only reason the floor does not slide out from under you. But it doesn't, and you manage to look down, and what you see is currently known only to you. I will emphasize that before describing. But I need to know, first of all, that you have watched Disney's Hercules.
Of course.
Okay. So, there is an equally sized room beneath you. Whether it used to be multiple rooms or whatnot, it is all just an open space down there right now. And the floor of it is just rubble from shards of what used to be the floor you are standing on. To the side of the room, following along one wall and getting wider as it goes, is a rift in the floor. And inside that rift is not stone, it is not water, it is not anything that would make any sort of sense. Instead, if you go to the end of Disney's Hercules and you get to look down into that well of souls that Hades has, where all those green, weird, wispy things with faces are, and just kind of streaming around in something like smoke, something like water, something like people, but not really any of the three. Luminescent green something that is not exactly alive, but definitely maybe once was, is in that rift. And it is moving, it is emoting, and it is giving off a strange, eerie green light.
Ooh. Okay. He's gonna sneak back. Not trusting the floor. He's gonna sneak back into the room with his companions.
Okay.
You walk up.
You walk across that room and you see there is a gecko just kind of hanging out. That wasn't there before.
He's gonna kind of stare at it for a second, just kind of like, isn't the climate for lizards? Worry about that later. And just kind of goes back, continues on. But once he gets in the room, he's not gonna drop invisibility yet because it lasts for an hour. So he's gonna keep it going as long as it will.
You kind of have to gently push Dame back because Dame has kind of like wedged herself into that crack in the doorway to try and keep tabs on what's going on. But easily enough done.
Dame just feels a tiny little hand come up and just go like, to like move her out of the way.
Oh my god.
I would punch midair so hard if that happened
Yeah,
to
no,
me.
I would swing. Just right on the face.
And he has to like get up on his tiptoes and do it because he's real
I
short.
love this weird
little
man.
idiot. Yeah.
Okay. What you said happens.
Mm-hmm. Gets back in the room and looks around. Where did Druna go?
You're still just watching the old lady.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dame's just gonna like.
Oh, she's the lizard.
We've been hanging out for days now, and I still never expected.
Oh, well, he's gonna quietly like tell all of the things that he happened to notice. Just quietly pass them on, even though Druna's not there. He'll just tell her again later. So.
Hi,
What?
remind me to make like a surprised Pikachu, where it's like, hey, I'm a druid and I can turn into animals that are from this area. Turns into animals that are from this area. Just
Luka.
Well, you lot wanted to have a genteel conversation with the ostensibly neutral inhabitants of this area.
One of these things is
Why
not.
don't you go? Instead of all this, why don't you just go and have a chat with them? You know, the ones, the old ladies that seemingly match the description of our perpetrators who are in the other room sweeping up pixie dust. Go have a conversation. I'll be right here to support.
Listen, I know you sound sarcastic, Dane, but I am very, very charming when I want to be. There's a reason I have the job that I have, and with that, he like, he's gonna turn back around, but they can't see him.
I know there is, and she's going to keep talking to air. Yes, I know there is. There's also a reason why I'm, yes, we all have a particular set of skills. This is not mine. If you're going to go in there and talk to her, then let's go in there and talk to her. Otherwise, I'll just try the other door.
Real quick. Jane, do you have dice as a teabag accessory for your mug?
Yeah, the T-ball. My sister got it for me, so it's got 3 little dice on it.
That's cute.
Oh, God.
And she also got me like 2 shirts with dice patterns on them.
Nice.
She's a good sister.
Druna, would you... you look and are, for all intents and purposes, you are a lizard right now.
Right.
Would you give me a stealth check as a lizard? Which is at a mighty +0.
Oh, okay.
Thank goodness you're not a
It's
newt.
not
You
a
ended up in a
negative.
2.
Lisa's not a negative.
She turned me into a newt.
Oh no.
How'd we
Oh
do?
no.
Natty one.
Yeah!
So
It's not just me.
you don't have a great perspective, right? As a lizard. So you kind of scuttle up the fountain to have a look and keep an eye, a bulbous protruding eye on this woman. And as you do, while the other 3 are in the other room talking, she kind of turns and notices you, and she stops humming. Oh, lizard. How did you find your way in here? How did it go? Toe of frog, wool of bat. Well, eye of lizard would probably do for a newt. The sisters will probably appreciate my initiative. And she reaches out to try and pick you up.
So I'm a haul ass.
Okay. She is effectively trying to grapple you. This is not something she's great at, so she's gonna roll, and you're gonna roll, and whoever rolls better is going to win. Because both of you have a +0 to this right now. You can use your guidance if you want to, though. This is a skill check.
I'll use inspiration.
You'll use inspiration? Okay. Oh, well, you might need it, too. She rolled surprisingly well.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
All that's going through my head is that song. Just oh no, no.
You got a 12?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, I got an 18.
God damn it.
So you turn to start scuttling away, and she's smart enough not to grab you by the tail, because that comes off. And she grabs you kind of around the midsection, just picks you up, gives you an approving, like, arthritic nod, and then just sticks you in her pocket. And as you start to get out, she shoves your head back in. She shoves your head back in. She just contents herself with holding you in her pocket with her hand as she starts to sweep. One-armed.
Can I shape owl?
Huh?
Can I shape owl?
You're gonna kill.
Yeah, you can.
Do it.
All right, so you do that, and just a moment. In the next room, it takes a moment for Luka to be describing all the things that he has seen to you. Like, and there's some doors, and there's a lady, and she's sweeping up some stuff.
Oh, okay.
Then I go into this next room. There's an archway, and there's, like, holes in the floor. And then you look down, and there's, like, this rift, and it's got people in it. It's, like, green, and there's, like, glowing, and there's, like... And then all of a sudden, you hear a... and a slight tearing sound as a woman's pants pocket explodes and, like, tears her pants down that leg as a full-sized drow no longer fits. And she has, like, that, you know how some dresses have, like, that slit almost up to the waist? That's her pants now, because there's a drow that just erupted from her pantaloons. And she falls, and it's very bad for old people to fall, by the way, but she falls in surprise, shock, and just from sheer force of someone appearing within her pocket. As Druna, I mean, you were confined, like, you're sitting on your butt next to her as a full person now, just staring at this old woman.
I'm like on my back, and I'm like, are you my mommy?
Baby bird.
And she immediately reaches into her other pocket.
Daniel.
And she pulls out a flask and, like, takes a quick slug of it. What are you? Who are you? What are you doing? You were in mute. And all of you hear this from the other side of the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna run over that door.
Luka's gonna leave. Well,
It's gonna kind of give Luka a, like... go over
in whatever direction you think he's in, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Luka's gonna...
It's probably completely wrong.
Luka's gonna drop invisibility and be on the other side of the room where Doc had not pointed at. And he's gonna run in, too.
Okay.
I'm begging y'all to read chat real quick.
Yep. I saw that. It's not canon, but it's fucking funny.
Would you like a Werther's?
She
Would
turns...
you like a Werther's?
At that door opening, she turns and once again... What is going on? What are you doing? Don't hurt me.
I can't sleep.
Okay.
Druna's still on her back.
I need you...
I hear about your car's extended warranty.
What is the area of sleep? It's not going to affect Druna. You can't put drow magically to sleep, but I want to know
it's a 20-foot little, like, circle.
Okay. Given the size, I don't think that's going to incidentally hit anyone or anything else that you may or not be able to see.
Yeah.
So, go ahead and roll for me.
Okay. How much is it?
Was it 5d8 or something?
5d8.
Yep.
And again, I've told you about me and d8s.
That you can't get a d8?
Keep those things on me.
No, wait, that's me.
I'll even use 2 of my neat little vintage crystal ones that a friend got me. They found them in the back of an old comic store.
I found them in the back of an old lady's pantaloon pocket.
Don't worry about it.
The drow erupted from them. It was weird.
Don't even worry. She's still alive. I just told you I have them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Did you know that that's how drow are born?
Through pant legs.
By budding.
I don't know. There was a lizard and there was an elf. I don't know. I don't know what that says about me, but I like it.
It's a weird metamorphosis.
Okay, that was...
Nice, Joelle.
It was a modest 18 hit.
18, okay.
Yeah, 2 of them rolled ones, and I'm really upset.
Who are you? What are you planning to do to me? I don't want to be...
He's just kind of standing there like,
Good night.
Well, that's going to
And
last
he'll
for a
just, like,
minute.
look to Druna and be like,
Druna's gonna pretend to be asleep and act like the spell hit her. So she's gonna be like,
do I fall for it?
I'm
curious.
You know that magic can't put Drow to sleep and that Drow don't actually sleep. I can't help you there, but I love it.
Dame's just gonna walk in, like saunter in, at this point, and just kind of survey the situation. It's like, wow, guys, we should really try this whole negotiation thing more often. It's fantastic.
I'm gonna turn back to Dame and be like, and then I'm gonna turn back to Druna. What did you do?
Druna's got like one eye open and she closes it immediately as you turn back.
EB jumps off of Luka's
We have
shoulder
no
and
more
runs
than
over and
40
just
more
starts going,
seconds. What is
on your
happening?
cheek.
I take the cloak off of Luka and I lay it down over the pantsless lady.
She's not pantsless.
Body in the
Her
street.
pants are definitely not as good as they used to be. But we are...
You know what?
I'm not doing that. I'm not going there.
I'm gonna, while I'm looking really pissed at Dame, I'm gonna walk over and I'm gonna cast Menting on her hand.
Doesn't that have like a minute casting time?
No.
No, it's
No?
just immediate. Oh wait, yes, it is a minute. Oops. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that.
You don't have time. You don't have time.
I'm gonna think about it for a moment, then just be like, eh.
Okay,
Okay.
we
All we've done is delay the inevitable. She's still going to wake up at some point. It's like,
yeah, but when she
are we
wakes
talking? She's not
No,
going to be
what
any
should
less
we do in the
hysterical
meantime?
when she's surrounded by people when she wakes up from a instantaneous, magically induced sleep.
She's drooling out the side of her mouth.
Don't worry about when she wakes up. I can charm her. We can figure it out. And he's gonna quickly point, be like, that door over there is the one that was silent. That door over there is the one that had like the weird scrapey noises. And that one over there has really unstable floor, but it's the one with the weird like hell pit in it.
Oh, I'm gonna take out the thing real quick from my pocket while he's listening to Luka and just say, Dame, what does it say? Just shove it into her
All
chest.
just screaming at each other.
Just
Oh.
back and forth.
So you unwrap this paper, and there is a meat doll inside of it.
delicious.
Iris, I don't know what this means. But if you made this, I love it. It's beautiful.
I did not make that. That is why I
Oh,
don't
good.
want
This
it
is
anywhere
hideous. I
near
just
me.
toss it to the other side.
So keep it.
Can I?
It is
Sorry, I
Sylvan.
didn't realize
Please
you liked
read
it. It's just so.
I don't like it, but I would rather not have it be in the hands of someone that I also don't like.
Just Steve, could you just roll a d8 for me? Because I just got a terrible idea.
Oh god.
I have those. Here we go.
Oh god. Do you want Vex?
I got an 8.
Too late.
An
I was gonna
8.
say, do you want Vex to bless it? But too late.
You toss it aside, and it happens to land in the fountain.
Okay.
Blood fountain.
Now that you have a somewhat slimier piece of paper to read, you read the following. I will make this available to you guys in the Discord later for reference. You don't have to try and take it all down right now.
Ooh, okay.
It will probably not be important for the remainder of the session, but if you would, yeah, I'll make it available to you later. What it says in Sylvan is the following. Pixie dust, unfairly got. Blood from those that bravely fought. Strength from stone and flaming hot. Air and sea with danger fraught. Souls of the damned, quite a lot. Boiled together in a pot. Bind and beckon, Peridot.
It's. Where did you get this?
It was over on the table, amongst all the other effigies.
I'm sorry, the other effigies?
Yes, there are plenty. But that's the only ones that looked like me. Be
I'll-
a fool not to say so.
I'll fish Doc's bloody meat puppet.
Tiny Doc.
Okay. Out of the fountain. Is it now? You said the fountain was dry, or the fountain is full of blood?
No, it is dry. It
Okay.
is stained red. I never said the word blood.
Okay. Well, I mean,
This isn't Hades, Steven.
Um,
someone else said blood. So I was
someone
just
else
rolling
said
with it.
blood. I didn't
So
correct them, but I never said it.
I'll pick it out and hand it back to Doc. And I'm
Okay. You notice that it's
I'll-
kind of dusty now? Like,
Hmm.
this lady has been dumping dust into this thing as she tried to clean the thing. So it's dirtier than it once was.
just blow it off. Make a big
Ugh.
puff at the stuff. Dust it off and hand it back to Doc. I'm like, we'll go into it later, but it's a really morbid recipe. It looks like.
I hate this a lot.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
He'll also hold out the hand for the paper.
Luka's gonna position himself
He's gonna wrap it
standing
back
like,
up.
right over this lady, basically like right next to her, just looking down, waiting for her to wake up.
Okay. While you are there, you notice she kind of fell asleep, like clutching this flask to her breast. It is the same kind of flask that you found in the secret compartment of the other room.
I'm gonna take it.
Okay. It's about half full. It is labeled just like the others, and it is now in your possession. Who has the other two, by the way?
I have one of them, and I think Druna had the other.
Yes, the troll blood. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love it.
Just so I know where they are. Great.
Yeah.
And then Doc has the scrap of paper. Doc has the effigy. Doc has the horn. No, Luka has the horn.
I have the
Luka
horn.
has-
Thank you.
I have the horn and that piece of paper. And Druna has the
Ah,
soup.
yes, and the story by Corvin Dane you have.
Yes.
Yes. I miss running dungeons, guys. This is fun. So many moving parts.
This madness.
All right.
I'll go ahead and let you as the DM know, Rob, that essentially the minute this lady wakes up, I'm going to be using my hypnotic gaze on her.
All right. Well, that's happening basically now.
Okay, she has to
Oh boy.
succeed a 15 wisdom saving throw.
DC
Or
15
she's-
wisdom save.
Or she's charmed. So
Okay.
it gives me mechanics in terms of if you're in a fight, which means like by turn you can like continue it or this or that, but we're not in turns at the moment. So
I think Charmed, on top of any other things that it says Charmed does, it always gives you advantage on checks made to interact with that person. And if it does extra things, it is usually noted in the spell. So I think the Charmed condition does that. So I will roll. I will get not a 15. So she wakes up and she's groggling, like, opening her eyes. And the first thing she wakes up to see is a handsome drow staring meaningfully into her eyes. Ooh. Hello, handsome.
he looks back at Doc and is like, hello. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just kind of like the.
For my information, how long does this last?
That's why I said it says that it lasts until the end of your next turn, but that you can use your action to keep it going. It gives it to me.
Oh, so
in-
you're doing it as long as you want. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until you
pretty
do
nice.
something else. Cool, got it.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Some other notes though is it says this creature's speed drops to 0, but again, I think that's in a combat setting. I think in a normal setting you don't have to worry about that.
Okay, I'm gonna
Oh.
read about it while we go, and that's from your
Yeah.
wizard subclass.
Yeah.
Cool.
From my
Nice.
subclass. And I also took, because we're far enough into this, I also took a feat that helps me even more with charisma. And charisma's like, sadly, as a wizard, my best stat.
All right. So really,
So good.
once this ends, she's gonna be pretty much immune to this for a while, and you have
Yeah.
to stay right next to her and maintain this
Yeah.
effect. Good
Oh
to
no,
know.
he's already got his arm like looped through hers and is trying to like lift her up and all that kind of stuff. Like he's intending to stay nearby at the cost of his own body if it comes to that, but that's what he's gonna do.
Oh my god.
What do you call an old cougar? Like a really old cougar.
They're all cougars.
Yeah.
So, yes, all of you are standing here. However she may or may not feel about the rest of you, she's just completely transfixed and subdued by Luka's sheer presence right now.
Sorry, I was laughing. I just looked down and Vex was giving me like this look of just like complete, like unsettled unhappiness, just like as I'm doing all of this. Yeah, Luka's gonna just like, kind of be just like, "Oh, are you okay? Is your head okay? I'm so sorry, my friend over there. That's just a mechanic. Like he just does that when he gets nervous. It happens. It'll be okay. Just don't worry. And he's like helping her up to her feet and all that kind of stuff.
That has happened twice now. Actually,
She fumbles about. She doesn't want
It
to
is
take
a
her eyes.
pattern.
She doesn't want to take her
Oops.
eyes off you, but she reaches out and finds her broom and like stands herself up with it and clutches it to her chest. We don't get many people like you in Rimehold. No, sir.
Rimehold. Oh, is that what this castle is called? Is Rimehold?
Oh, it used to be called that. I don't suppose the name has changed. I don't think anyone rightly cares what it's called anymore.
Dear, can you give me your name? We didn't quite catch it before you slept.
Oh, yes, sorry about that. You sleep when you can when you get my age. And I'm
You do when you're my age too.
You charmer. My name is Gruta.
Oh my god. Okay. You guys see his eyes are like a little extra purple right now from the spell going, like from this hypnotic gaze going, and you guys just see him go like looking back and forth.
Yeah, we're just gonna like.
She just tries to follow your eyes wherever they go.
Yeah. Ruta, you say? Wow, I've never heard such a beautiful name.
Oh, that's kind of you. I hate it, always have, but it's fine. You don't pick the name you're given.
What if we play a little game? He's basically just talking to her so that you guys can look around and do whatever you feel like at the time.
No, keep going. I want to know what this game is.
What if I pick a name for you, and if you think it's lovely, then we'll just start calling you that?
Okay.
How about... Now, do you not like any part of Gruta, or is it just like a certain little bit of it?
Well, I only dislike the sound of it.
Only the sound. So Greta, the little change would not be good enough. How about we call you... Sheila.
Oh, Sheila. I suppose it could be worse. But still, it's a step up from Gruta.
We can keep going. How about something nice and delicate, like Laura?
Oh, that's nice.
Laura, does everybody say hello to Laura? He's just talking so that you guys can do whatever you feel like.
Salut, Laura. And I'm gonna back out of the
While this conversation is going on, I kind of want to go over and take a look at this stone scraping door.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll follow in that, and I guess I'll just leave Druna on the floor.
Kind of
Fake sleepy.
Ending to be asleep.
So, this place...
He's still down there.
Yeah.
This place is
If I
clearly a
don't
fortress, right? Very, very few concessions have been made to artistry, other than the door that you saw in the last room. It is a very sturdy, practical door that you think was designed with the intention to withstand assaults. That this was a fortress before it was a palace, if you understand my meaning. It is heavy, it is sturdy, it is somewhat weathered and cracked in places, and it is only through those cracks that you are able to hear the sound of stones sliding across stone in a sort of a nails on the chalkboard grating sort of way.
Well,
You can see clearly where this door would have had like a heavy wooden bar to prevent people from coming from the far side. But where that bar is, you cannot say. There is nothing on your side preventing this door from being opened, and it was clearly meant to prevent people from opening it from the other side.
I'll look to Dame. Do we dare? We only have so much time.
If we... Look. You wanted to talk to Gruta. Or now that you know it's Gruta, does that make a difference?
Not necessarily. I say, for now, we should at least know what our surroundings are. And then maybe we can find out more about the people inside. Or we can check the fountain.
No.
Time is ticking.
I think that Gruta seems to be the root of the problem. Luka, dear, would you mind trying to ascertain the nature of her business here and whether or not we should get on with the negotiations or the aggressive negotiations? I'm going to have a look around.
Luka,
And I'll do what I can with the door.
Luka chimes in real quick just in case any of that threw Gruta off and is like, don't worry, Laura. The whole aggressive thing, we're working with her. You know, she's really not bad. It just doesn't always think about her words. But can you tell me, what's going on here? Why are you here all by yourself in a room sweeping up dust?
Oh, I'm in the room by myself because it's better that way. I'm not here by myself, not really. But I'm sweeping because that's my job. That's what I do. It's how I spend my days, is I keep the place clean. And she kind of pats at her hip, just, and she seems like momentarily distracted from quite how charming you are. Says, my drink, misplaced my medicine.
I think he doesn't want to like get her riled up while this is working. Quickly pulls it out. I was like, oh, sorry, I picked this up because I was worried when you stood up that it was going to fall on the floor. And you know, you were out of it. You have medicine in here. Well, are you sick or?
Oh, thank you. She takes it and takes a quick nip and puts it back in her intact pocket. Says, not sick, dear, so much as just old. It comes with the territory, and this helps me forget how old I am.
Well, if it matters at all, you don't really look a day over 45.
You
Yeah.
liar, you.
I wouldn't really know. Drow, live a long time. So,
No.
I mean, Doc is like 1,000 years old.
So you may be closer to my age than you look.
I'm 240.
He hears that like little comment from her, and like from behind her, still sitting on Druna's chest, she's like turns around.
When you say do what you can to those doors, Dane, what do you mean?
Is it possible for me to open them?
You imagine so. Do you try?
Yeah, I would like to open them.
Okay. They clearly seem to be intended to open towards you, so you grab where that one of those iron handles where that bar might have gone and give it a scraping tug. It fits pretty snug, and maybe snugger than it... Snugger? It fits more snugly than perhaps it should have when the castle kind of compressed from the fall. But you managed to haul it back with your prodigious strength far enough to where you could squeeze through or have a look through. And I assume you do.
Yeah, I just want to see if there's any other potential enemies in the vicinity.
All right. You poke your head through, and still pretty much relying on dark vision. The only source of light that you've seen in the past 3 rooms, besides weird death chasm, is not deathgasm, death chasm.
Aha!
Need to pronounce things carefully. Is Gruta's little candle. But you look through, and you see a large, grand stairwell. To the right and left of the room, stairs descend down to a landing, and then farther down from them, with a stone carved railway that is broken and crumbling in some places. Before the stairs is an upper landing, level with where you are, where some of the stone has been stripped away or replaced with like earth and gravel. On this space of earth and gravel is a stone bench. And tied to that stone bench is a silver ribbon. And on the opposite end of that silver ribbon is a 3-foot-tall, rotund humanoid. It is mostly exposed. It has like a strange tuft of hair around its waist, kind of in the shape of a loincloth, with an exposed chest and arms, which are equal parts fatty and yet look impressively strong. Its 2 legs, if you can call them legs, end in another set of hands, almost in a gorilla-style fashion, that are almost in a halfling way unusually large for the size of the rest of it. Its hair is a tangled mane encircling its entire face. You can't tell where beard or neck beard or hair might begin or necessarily end. And from this tangle of hair pops out 2 beady little eyes. And it is seeming as if though it were whittling, but with 2 pieces of stone fashioning this small blade about the size of a short sword, just scraping whetstone on whetstone. And as you open the door, it casually looks to you and says, "Hey."
Hello. I close the door.
As you start to close the door, it looks back to what it was doing.
All right. Something's that way. It doesn't seem necessarily hostile, but it's very odd. Let's have a look at that rickety room. And I'll go check it out.
Okay. Remind me, by the way, everyone has, like, normal-ass drow 60 foot of dark vision, but Doc has something special, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have 300 feet.
Okay. And you have the ability to share that, but you haven't, correct?
Haven't yet.
Okay.
No. I've been panicking too much.
That's fair. I'm not saying that you need to. I just need to understand what everyone can see. So when you go and check out the rickety room, Dane, you see everything that I described to Luka before. I will say that you do see let me make sure that I'm doing this right. There is, in this room, kind of across some of the holes and whatnot, a spiral stair leading down, made out of wrought iron, kind of in a far corner. And it's not that Luka didn't see it, it's that Rob neglected to tell Luka that he saw it.
Okay.
So there is a way down over there. By your estimation, although you cannot see... No, you haven't gone to the edge of one of these things. as far as I know. Or you would have rolled something. But
Me?
no. Dame.
Oh, okay.
But you see everything on this floor that I have previously described.
And on the other side of this door, like rickety floorboards, very possible to fall through, and there's some creepy, glowy Hades stuff going on underneath.
Well, you don't see the Hades stuff
Okay.
unless you go to the edge of a thing. But has been described to you, and you can see a dull glow.
Okay. All right. I'll just go back over into the room and stand next to Druna and wait for negotiations to conclude.
I wanted to take a peek into that rickety room if I was able.
To go in towards the room with the treacherous floor?
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, you can do that if the...
Yeah.
Unless you do the reasonably dangerous thing that Luka did, you can enter into that room and survey. If you approach one of the holes, you need to let me know. But with your increased dark vision, you see more than the others do. Because again, this room is very large, and you can see... normal drow dark vision cannot see the extremities of the room, particularly in the direction to the left. There are 3 alcoves on the far southern wall of this room.
Oh.
In these alcoves are statues, larger than normal human size.
Okay.
They have... The 2 on the sides have somewhat crumbled and broken and are basically beyond recognition, except that you can see legs and torsos of a basically humanoid form.
Mm-hmm.
Though it is headless and missing an arm, the statue in the center is more intact. You see a figure dressed in, a stone depiction of hides and leather armor. The hand of it is still there because it's basically built out of the torso of the statue, like pressed up against the chest, holding some kind of a broken pole arm. You're not sure what would have been on the top of it. The other hand is grasping a shield. And it is clear to you, even at this distance, that though the large stone shield that the statue is holding is stone and fake and part of the motif, the center of the shield is a basically smaller version of the same shield, as though the depiction, the legitimate item, has been represented and incorporated into the facade of the representation. So there is a shield attached to the shield of this broken stone statue in the center, all the way across this treacherous room, is what I'm trying to say.
You want to know a fun fact?
What's that?
You want to know what the middle of a shield is called?
What's that called?
The shield boss.
Ah, okay.
And I think that's rad.
One of these days, I'm going to have somebody fight a shield boss, and I'm going to bring that up.
It's such a cool name for just a little rivet. The shield boss.
Is that what Sound of Frog makes? Or a little frog warrior? Rivet. Rivet.
Aw. Yeah, it does. I
It's rickety wrecked. Sorry, I just read the chat.
You bet. I'm
That's
Nice.
a good one. I like that.
gonna do the irresponsible thing, and I want to try to get closer to that statue.
Okay. There's probably about 80 feet of floor between you and it, and you are going to have to step pretty lightly. For it to be
Probably
safe.
weigh like 80 pounds sopping wet, so I'll hope that goes well for me.
Let me check my little document here. Oh, I
Your
was
doc, you meant?
my doc. You meant, but all right. Let us. There we go. All right, you have your choice. I think the most appropriate thing to do is a stealth check. If you would prefer acrobatics, you could talk me into it. But I just need you to step
Okay.
lightly and carefully, consistently, throughout this room. If you want, and you do not have to, you can make an investigation check to try and ascertain which parts of the floor are or are not dangerous. If the advantage to making the investigation check is you would have advantage on the dexterity check. If you fail the investigation check, you would have disadvantage on the dexterity check. Did I make the stakes clear? Does that bear further explanation?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Nah, I'm gonna raw dog it. I'm just gonna do each one. I'm just gonna do each one as they come.
Okay, which would you prefer? Let me know if you're doing stealth or acrobatics.
Well, they're both the same.
Okay,
But I'll just do acrobatics, because it seems something more that a surgeon could maybe do, I guess.
fair enough.
You know, when you work with your feet.
I will remind you that you know you're doing something dangerous, and as a cleric, you can cast guidance on yourself. You're getting the blessings from that.
Every time I'm gonna cast guidance on myself.
This could be so fun. Don't let me down, Jane.
Alright, everybody, she just found the camera and decided I need to look right in that.
She's cute. It's fine. How'd we do?
Oh, that's not a good face.
I think it's a good face. What is it?
Oh no.
Do I use my inspiration on the first one, or would it be worse if I did something deeper in and then didn't have it?
If you're making that face, I say you need to use it.
You use guidance and then inspiration.
Yeah, you never know what guidance can do. That's a 1.
Now we know.
So like.
Give it to me. What are we rolling again, or what do we got? What do we got?
What if it was
Whoa, that was a jump. Okay.
a 3?
A 3.
Wait, with your 1?
Yeah. Oh
Okay.
wait, no, plus acrobatics. So what if it was a 5?
A 5.
Okay.
Well, excuse me.
But with
5.
my modifier.
Everyone just packed up the notes. We're done. She got a 5.
Okay.
All right, adventure
Dan,
over.
Dan,
You
I
won the
need you-
game.
And I need you to know that as you did that, one person, Rifle Stud, bought you inspiration, and then 2 other people, Dancer Hawk and Exocentric Nerd, got you guidance. All within one quick little, like, few seconds of each other.
My God.
She needs
You're
some
like this
milk.
stupid
All right.
bitch.
This is-
There's some milk.
This is somewhat wonderful. So, bank those for later. All those things you were just bought.
Yeah, sure.
Here's the thing.
Thank you, everyone.
You have traveled in this room far enough that you have put this
village.
cavern, this large, green, glowing, sinister room behind you. And you're very focused on your task. You're not looking at what may or may not be beneath you any longer. And you step on what you believe to be quite a solid surface. Until it's not. This large flagstone that is beneath you just plummets as though there were. Steve, what is the game I play with David sometimes with the penguin and the little hammer?
That's basically the protect the penguin.
Icebreaker.
It's like an icebreaker thing,
Yeah,
yes.
icebreaker.
Yeah, no, the like square one, and you take the little mallet.
Yeah,
try to
and then you
save
just
it.
kind of
Yes!
something just immediately drops as soon as it comes into contact with any sort of
Yeah.
plate. That.
I love that game. Not
Um,
here though.
I don't appreciate that someone said it's the end of Squid Games.
You
Yep.
You-
Kind of like that.
You.
Doc is player 1.
throw me a quick acrobatics check as you plummet 40 feet down.
40.
Let's just
Can't
see.
grab for anything on the side.
Nope. You can control your fall a little.
Okay, I'll try to control my fall a little bit.
You can fall with style. a la
Guidance
Martin
while I'm
Lightyear.
falling.
Sure.
I guess.
You can do a goofy yell.
Like the Wilhelm scream.
No, I like the vision of Doc
Okay.
falling with a completely straight face. Just
Yes.
This might as well happen. I'm gonna burn one of my inspirations and I'm gonna put this dice in jail.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Don't worry about it. I'm not even worried about it.
I'm
Don't
glad
even
it's
worry
like
about
everyone
it.
else is weak to fail. That's just it's such. It's nice.
Everybody
to be
has a week, and it just
I don't think Tyler had a week yet.
And then no, I don't want to use you. You gave me a 1. I'll use.
Now that you've said that,
This is sponsored by Misty Mountain Gaming. Serpent of Midgard red glass dice. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's better than it could have been. That's a 16 total.
16. You're going to shave some damage off of what you otherwise would have taken. So, a 40-foot fall only affords you 9 points of damage. As you kind of follow the flagstone that you were standing on all the way down, and you take an impact on your side and shoulder and kind of roll off of it.
My hip.
You find yourself now by comparison to every other room in the place, even the ones that Gruta has supposedly, or Laura, sorry, has been supposedly tidying, a very clean room, a very white room, a room that, other than your sudden intrusion, has probably gone undisturbed for untold centuries. To your right and left are sepulchers. And before you, on a small dais, it is a above ground tomb. It is a stone coffin.
Like a sarcophagus, kind of.
Oh.
Yes.
Sarmogphicus.
Before you, on the same floor as you, somewhat actually broken by the flagstone that you fell on, is a marble fountain. Not a fountain, sorry, a basin. A set-in-ground pool, if you would. Beyond it, with your dark vision, you see a marble dais with 2 steps leading up to a raised platform on which sets a much larger, much grander sepulcher. Atop the lid of this coffin is the shape of a man clutching a shield and spear to his breast. There are unlit braziers to your right and left on the far side of the 2 coffins that, as you land, ignite with a deep red flame. And in the light cast by these scarlet flames, you see a shape, not unlike the visage carved into the top of the coffin beyond. An enormous man, human, receding hairline, but thick, lustrous hair, fur and hide armor draped about the shoulders, barely containing the muscular visage of the man barely contained by them. This entity is facing away from you, facing the coffin, facing its own image graven in stone, as though lost in thought until your intrusion. Turning and looking over its shoulder, he smiles at you, and if you do not yet have Twitch pulled up in another tab, I need everyone to quickly do that for me. Because I can only do this on Twitch.
I have it up.
No.
Should we have sound on?
You guys should have sound turned on.
So we gotta mute ourselves on Discord.
Sound
and
turned
turn
on.
sound over there. Yep. Okay.
No, I'm only getting your Discord sound. It won't affect me, whatever.
Oh, okay.
It's only me that needs to care about what's coming through my speakers. Because this visage of this hardened, wizened man turns to you with a creeping smile cracking through the immense beard and says, ooh, hang on.
Greetings and welcome to the stronghold of the Lord Ravan. Your intentions would decide if you leave.
And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Oh,
No, I've really done it now, Scoob.
I want you all to remember this the next time Luka runs off and you say that he's the dangerous one.
Look, I had one bad day, and it just happened to be the worst one.
I want to know now, though, Rob.
Hey,
you
to
have
be
to
fair,
bet-
I'm stuck in a room with an ancient, scary man. You're stuck in a room with a cougar. I don't know what you're into, but either one of those could be your worst case scenario.
Oh yeah, no, like I like to think that while you've been like falling and plummeting and all that stuff in this next room, it's just the two of them having like a great little powwow, you know?
Yep.
Like
I think the beginning of that clipped just a second. I'm going to mute my desktop audio and play it for chat again. Hang on a second.
It's so good. I'll listen to it all day.
Greetings and welcome to the stronghold of the Lord Ravan. Your intentions will decide if you leave.
There we are. So, next week,
good.
esteemed, accomplished voice actor and friend of the channel, Eric Bra, will be joining us as the Lord of this stronghold, the King of Rimehold, the Blood Lord Ravan. And I could not be more excited.
Oh my god! This is
super
really cool. I'm just terrified, and I don't know which to feel more of.
We've been piddling around for an hour with some lady upstairs, and then this guy's waiting downstairs, and we were not doing that for some reason. No, you're doing us a favor by getting this started.
Hey, thanks for falling. Good work, Doctor.
So,
Doc,
Hey, man, I don't know
to be
about
fair,
you, but I made a new
Doc
best
has
friend.
already fallen for Kavan the Bloodlord.
guys, if anyone's still in chat, if you haven't, spread the word about this show to all your D&D friends, or people who you play with, or fellow nerds on the internet. Next week is going to be a hell of a week to start paying attention to this show, as we get a celebrity on the channel to play alongside of us, someone who is going to bring a NPC that I came up with out of my own head very much to life. And, oh man, I'm so excited. I'm very nervous to be playing, or like running a game for Eric, but I'm also like way more excited to be running a game for Eric, and I'm way more excited to let him play with you guys and let you guys play with him. Welcome him to this channel and to the Adventurer program for Misty Mountain Gaming. And man, I hope everybody comes in next week, especially. I hope everyone comes in all the time. And why aren't you telling your friends about us already? But man, next week is going to be a great time to join up as we get this dungeon
if you
underway.
like that clip, imagine getting to hear this man's voice just over and over for a couple hours.
Yeah. He's a solid ass dude,
It's
by
like
the way.
silk.
If you check out his like if you check out his like Wednesday night happy hour streams that he does with a friend of his, he's a good natured, like super laid back fella. Very contrary to like the gravelly, growling, fierce warrior that he's going to be portraying. He's in the chat. Wear the brown pants, he says. Hello. Yeah, I'm super thrilled. I'm really looking forward to having you on next week, man.
Hey Eric, mind if I drop in?
Bad pun.
I'm very interested how
his character joke better. But okay, it's fine.
I'm interested how we're going to do this with because I'm sorry that the whole party is not going to meet you immediately next time. But there's going to be problems wherever they are, because that's the kind of place they're in right now. And I will be messaging different ones of you, different things that you know, particularly Eric, some things about the history of the place that you may or may not know. And if I forget to message you about it, everything that might come up, we'll handle it on the fly next week. But man, this is gonna be fun.
I'm so excited.
Listen, I would be like devastated that we're ending right now if we weren't also playing on Wednesday.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the first thing that happens
Got a
is
week.
Eric is that Ravon is going to kill Doc and then replace them as the new member of the party. That's like a lot less judgy. This is going to be a big change for our group. I feel like
You have to be the hero, Jane.
the stares that I'm getting from her.
I do live for those. Those are great. The judgment from underneath the pink hair is wonderful.
Fine.
I love Jane's angry Doc face because it's just
Yeah.
it looks like a kitten that's mad. Like,
I'm glad you guys like it because I
She's got
feel
the
so
really-
bad after some streams where I have to be mad at you.
She's got the really fancy eye makeup on, and so now it looks just as good when
Hey.
she's angry. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you.
Eric, we'll see y'all next week. I'll be talking to you in the Discord as we get ready for it. We're probably going to continue to hang out and talk, and we can do so in just a minute. But this ends the stream for the night. As Tyler mentioned, we will be back Wednesday evening, same time, same channel, 7 p.m. CST, to continue The Wild Beyond the Witchlight, in which she and I are playing as Cien, the fairy boy, and Cheshire, the satyr bard. And
Sure.
very much looking forward to more chocolate thunder, snail racing hijinks.
You're as a satyr
Rapid
bard is
pace
probably
snail
the most on-brand character you've ever made.
I'm going to choose to take that as a compliment. Anyhow,
Well, were they out of gnome bards? So you went with the satyr one.
no comment. Y'all have a good week. We'll see y'all Wednesday. Goodbye!
Bye.
Goodbye.